Peeling away from Brown, racing over into the alleyway, reaching up, and he makes a one-hand catch in stride. Brown on the warning track making that grab. Three and two, the pitch. Swing and a hot shot back towards the middle. It's through into center, a base hit. Garcia touches third. He's on his way home. Prince's throw to the plate is late. Garcia dives in head first safely. Darby Myers a walk-off single here in the bottom of the 15th. Thompson bends at the waist. Now he comes set with an outside target from Susi. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. (2-0). Swung on, lined in the left center field, peeling away from Brown. Racing over into the alleyway, reaching up, and he makes a one-hand catch in stride. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Blue Crabs on Deck. Game one of a 7-game homestand and game one of a 4-game series against the Lancaster Barnstormers here tonight. First pitch at 7:05. Brian Burris on the hill tonight. The left-hander against the left-handed pitcher Kelvin De La Cruz pitching for Lancaster. It should be a good matchup here tonight. Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs top of the hour at 7:05. Blue Crabs fans, great seats are still available. Group tickets start as low as $10 per person. We also offer very affordable luxury suites and picnic area packages. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
If you can't make it to the park, you can listen to every Blue Crabs home game
on the Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
On August 2nd, 1907, Walter Johnson made his MLB debut for the Washington Senators. He would end up losing 3-2 against the Detroit Tigers. He'd go on to play 21 seasons for the Senators. He remains the MLB leader in shutouts with 110, and he's second in career wins with 417. He was elected to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame alongside Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson, Babe Ruth, and Honus Wagner, the 5 baseball immortals. That's this date in baseball history. This is the Blue Crabs Baseball Network presented by Legal ID Shield.
Time to take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. And we will start first with the Blue Crabs. And it's the left-hander Brian Burris on the hill. Burris has put together quite a season. He is 8-4 on the year, a 2.77 ERA. 19 games, 18 starts, 107 and a third innings pitched. 98 hits, 40 runs, 33 of those runs earned, 32 walks, and 96 strikeouts for the left-hander who won his last outing back on the 26th of July against Bridgeport. He picked up the win going 6 innings, allowing 2 earned runs on 11 hits while striking out 5 and walking 1. Burris has won 3 of his last 4 starts, and he's gone at least 6 innings in his last 5 starts, including a 7-inning performance against York back on the 21st. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, and 8 strikeouts. He's making his 19th start of the 2016 season, and he looks to stay hot. He's 3-1, by the way, against the Barnstormers here in 2016. So we look forward to seeing Brian Burris on the hill tonight for the Blue Crabs. Over on the other side, it's Kelvin De La Cruz, the left-hander here in Game 1. He gets the start. He's 4-2. 7 games, 7 starts, 43 and a third innings pitched, 13 earned runs, 7 walks, 37 strikeouts. And opponents are hitting .285 off the left-hander, who has a 2.70 ERA. In his last appearance on the 27th, he picked up the win in that start against Sugar Land. Went 7 innings, allowing just 5 hits, and striking out a season-high 10. He comes in having won 2 of his last 3 starts. So 2 left-handers who have had success this year, Kelvin De La Cruz and Brian Burse, on the hill for Lancaster and Southern Maryland, respectively. We'll take a break. We'll look at who's hot and who's not coming up next. And also, we will dive into our interview segment. It is our coach's report, and we will talk with Blue Crabs pitching coach Bill Bliss. It's coming up right here on Blue Crabs on Deck on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
ID Shield, a division of Legal Shield, continues the mission of providing identity protection to more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. Teamed with Crow, no other company combines the expertise of the most knowledgeable identity protection specialists in the industry. The team of dedicated individuals does whatever it takes for as long as it takes to keep you and your family safe. For more information, log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ or contact Marcellus and Jeanette Bower at 571-337-3588.
It's time to take a look at who's hot and who's not. First, in the Atlantic League, we have Long Island Ducks outfielder Falant Lentini. He leads the league in hits with 119, runs with 68, and at-bats with 380. Who's not so hot is Josh Prince, Sugar Land Skeeters infielder. He's batting just 53 in his last 7 games with 1 hit and 19 at-bats. In the MLB, Mitch Moreland, Texas Rangers first baseman, is hot. He is the Atlantic League Player of the Week. He's batting .465 in his last 7 games with 9 RBIs and 5 home runs, one of which was a walk-off against the Royals on Saturday night. And who's not hot in the MLB is Marlins outfielder Ichiro Suzuki. He's batting just .133 in his last 7 games. This is the Blue Crabs Baseball Network presented by Legal ID Shield.
Welcome back to Blue Crabs on Deck. I'm Jim Tarabokia. 7:05 first pitch between the Lancaster Barnstormers and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. It's time now for our coach's report, and we talked earlier with Blue Crabs pitching coach Bill Bliss.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, first season in Southern Maryland, I don't think the fans have really gotten to know you, at least on the broadcast side of things. How's your time been here in Southern Maryland?
No, it's been great, and I prefer to keep the concentration on the players, and I stay in the background, so that's kind of how that goes.
So, the pitching staff has been, let's get right into it here, the pitching staff has been doing really well, especially in the month of July. The bullpen earlier in the month had an ERA of under 2 at one point. What has been the keys to their success this month?
I really think we've just maintained the same work ethic daily on our throwing program from day one, and I promised them it'd pay off, and it really is right now.
What kind of throwing program do you have these guys going through that maybe they did different from last year?
It's just a consistent long toss program on a daily basis that if they concentrate on it every day, they're going to find their strength get better and better as the year goes on. And I think they'd all agree that they feel stronger than they did last year at this time. And nothing's against last year's coach, but it's just a different pitching program that you need to stick with.
We're talking with Blue Crabs pitching coach Bill Bliss, and you look at the pitching staff in the beginning of the year. Obviously, there were struggles there. What was the biggest thing that when the guys were transitioning to you as the pitching coach, or just transitioning into the season?
Well, I think early on we were trying to do too much, and there was too many non-competitive pitches. Pitches that were so far out of the zone that there was no way for contact. Early in the year, we had some different guys in here, and I'm not going to put it on anybody, but we weren't catching the ball real well. We weren't picking it up real well, and we weren't scoring a lot of runs, which puts a lot of stress on a staff to where in one inning you give up 1 run, all of a sudden it snowballs and it keeps going because we know we have to shut them down and we can't.
Right.
So some of the numbers got inflated early, and we as a group have been trying to whittle them down, and we're getting them down there to be respectable, and hopefully we can really make a run here at the end.
Yeah, Brian Burse is having a phenomenal year, probably a career year if you look at a lot of his numbers. And from your vantage point, you've been around this game for a very, very long time. What do you see with Brian Burse and how he is succeeding?
He's just a consummate professional. When he's behind in the count 2-0, he gets a lot of weak contact. He can throw all 4 pitches for strikes. And when he has a full count, it's like he's 0-2 on a hitter. He's been that good. And I hope he continues for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he's been healthy too, which is obviously a big thing. And looking at Gabby Hernandez, who only has 1 win on the year, I think personally though he could have about 2 or 3 wins, maybe even 4, because he's run into some bad luck. But he's been struggling the last 2 starts. What do you see with him?
Gabby, I think it's just mechanically, and sometimes he comes out of his delivery a little low, and the ball flattens out. We've been trying really hard to get him to stay more aggressive and maybe pitch in a little better. And hopefully this week, our work during the week and our conversations with Gabby, the start tomorrow will be much different.
And what do you see with Sexton as well?
Timmy just scuffled with his command last couple starts. He's been 2-0 on most of the hitters, and nobody can pitch that way. Yeah. So strike one's vital for everybody, and we just had a couple guys right now that haven't been throwing strike one quite enough.
Talking with Blue Crabs pitching coach Bill Bliss, and you look at with just overall with this team, how they've come out here in the second half, at least after the All-Star break. They've won 2 road trips, won 2 or 3 against Long Island, which was a big series win in my opinion. What do you see for this team here in the month of August when you guys are home for most of the games?
I just think we need to keep winning series and stay healthy. And like we talked about right now, we have a good chance every week to win 3 of those games. And those other 2 starters you mentioned, once they get going, hopefully we'll have 5 days a week, which we didn't have really in the season to win a game. We weren't quite as competitive from our bench standpoint, and now we really are. We've got ex-big leaguers coming off our bench. And that gives Jeremy a whole different set of options to go to. It allows guys for rest day to day. And we're really a good team right now, and I think our second time here through the league as we go, those teams would say, boy, that team's a lot better.
Well, and everything's so bunched up. You guys are only 3.5 out. Nobody is really the clear-cut best team this year in the league, and I think that really bodes well for your chances here in the second half.
I think it does, and I think it does for our pitchers because, like I said, they're getting stronger, and I think if they all step up like I think they're going to, then we take a step ahead of everybody else because their pitchers are going to get tired. Yeah. And I like our chances.
All right. Good man. Bill, thank you, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Okay, thanks so much.
And, of course, our thanks to Bill Bliss for joining us today in our Coach's Corner segment. When we get back, we will take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. This is Blue Crabs on Deck on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Fans come out to the ballpark on August 26th as it's a Salute the Troops night presented by Chick-fil-A of Charles County and the St. Charles Companies. It is also Redskin Youth Football Night, so come show your Redskins pride.
August 27th is Prater Willie Awareness Night and Jersey Auction Night. Another fireworks extravaganza performance will be put on, so come out, relax, and enjoy some baseball.
August 28th is Backfin Buddies Day, courtesy of Chick-fil-A, Smecco Day, and there's a pregame autograph session as well. Kids get into play for free in Pinch's Playground and run the bases after the game. Welcome back to Blue Crabs on Deck. I'm Jim Tarabokia. It's time now for our out-of-town scoreboard segment, and we will start, as we always do, in the Atlantic League. New Britain Stadium, the York Revolution, and the New Britain Bees will play at 6:35. That's the first pitch tonight. Game time start between those two clubs. 7:05 first pitch at TD Bank Ballpark, the Long Island Ducks and the Somerset Patriots. And at 7:12 at Harbor Yard, the Sugarland Skeeters and the Bridgeport Bluefish will play Game 1 of their series. Around Major League Baseball tonight, the Texas Rangers, 62-44, will play the Baltimore Orioles, 59-45. 7:05 first pitch from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Yu Darvish will get the start, 2-2, 3.09 ERA, up against the right-handed pitcher Dylan Bundy getting the start for the Orioles, 3-3, a 3.46 ERA. 7:05 start between the San Francisco Giants and the Philadelphia Phillies. San Francisco 61-44, Philadelphia 48-59. 7:05 first pitch from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Madison Bumgarner 10-6, 2.09 ERA getting the start for San Francisco. Zach Eflin 3-4, 4.23 ERA will get the start for Philadelphia tonight. Elsewhere around Major League Baseball, the Minnesota Twins will visit the Cleveland Indians. Minnesota 41-64. They'll send Kyle Gibson, the right-hander, to the mound. 3-6, 4.54 ERA, up against the right-hander Carlos Carrasco, 7-4, 2.45 ERA for Cleveland, who sports a 60-43 record. 7:10 first pitch from Progressive Field in Cleveland. Subway Series Game 2, the New York Yankees 53-52, sending Masahiro Tanaka to the hill tonight, 7-3, 3.16 ERA, up against Jacob deGrom, 6-5, 2.56 ERA, throwing tonight for the New York Mets, who are 54-51. 7:10 first pitch from Citi Field in New York. 7:10 start between the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Chicago 51-54. They will send James Shields, the right-hander, to the mound, 5-12, 4.68 ERA. Up against Anibal Sanchez, the right-hander, 5-11, 6.56 ERA for the Detroit Tigers, who are 57-48. 7:10 first pitch from Comerica Park in Detroit. Elsewhere around Major League Baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 52-51, will take on the Atlanta Braves, who are 37-68. 7:10 first pitch from Turner Field. For Pittsburgh, 52-51, Garrett Cole, the right-hander, 6-6, 2.78 ERA, up against the right-hander Mike Fontenot, 4-4, 4.30 ERA, throwing tonight for Atlanta. 7:10 first pitch from Turner Field in Atlanta. Elsewhere around Major League Baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals 56-49 up against the Cincinnati Reds, who are 42-62. 7:10 first pitch from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. St. Louis 56-49. Adam Wainwright, the right-hander, 9-5, 4.16 ERA, up against the right-hander Dan Straley, 6-6, 3.84 ERA, throwing tonight for the Reds. 7:10 first pitch. Kansas City and Tampa Bay, the Royals 50-55. Yordano Ventura, the right-hander, 6-9, 4.88 ERA, up against the right-hander Matt Andriese, 6-2, 2.75 ERA for the Rays, who are 42-62. 7:10 first pitch from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Marlins and the Cubs tonight, Miami 57-49. It is Jose Hernandez, 12-5, a 2.79 ERA, getting the start against Jason Hamill, who is 10-5, a 3.23 ERA. Cubs 64-41. 8:05 first pitch from Wrigley Field in Chicago. 8:10 start between the Blue Jays and the Astros. Toronto 59-47. R.A. Dickey 7-12, 4.66 ERA. Up against Lance McCullers, the left-hander, 6-4, 3.18 ERA, throwing for the Astros, who are 56-49. 8:10 first pitch from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Los Angeles and Colorado, the Dodgers 59-46. And they will send Brandon McCarthy, the right-hander, 2-1, 2.39 ERA to the hill, up against the Colorado Rockies and John Gray, the right-hander, who's 7-4, 3.94 ERA. Rockies 52-53 on the year. 8:40 first pitch from Coors Field in Denver. The Nationals visiting the Diamondbacks, Washington 62-44. Tanner Roark 10-6, 2.96 ERA. The right-hander throwing up against the left-hander Robbie Ray, who's 5-10, a 4.70 ERA. Diamondbacks 43-63 on the year. 9:40 first pitch from Chase Field in Phoenix. 10:05 start between the Athletics and the Angels. Oakland 47-58, as they will send Sean Manaea, the right-hander, 3-5, 4.57 ERA to the hill, up against the Angels, who are 57-48, and Matt Shoemaker, a right-handed pitcher, 5-11, 4.17 ERA. 10:05 start from Angel Stadium of Anaheim. 10:10 start between the Red Sox and the Mariners. Boston 58-46. David Price, the left-hander, 9-7, 4.26 ERA, getting the start against the left-hander Wade LeBlanc, 1-0, 4.26 ERA. Seattle 52-52 on the year. 10:10 first pitch from Safeco Field. A 10:10 start tonight between the Brewers and the Padres. Milwaukee 47-57, as they will send Zach Davies, the right-hander, to the hill. 8-4, 3.59 ERA against the right-hander Luis Perdomo, throwing for the Padres. 5-4, 6.89 ERA. San Diego 46-60 on the year. 10:10 first pitch from Petco Park in San Diego tonight. That does it for the out-of-town scoreboard. When we come back, we will wrap things up here on Blue Crabs on Deck. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Welcome back to Blue Crabs on Deck. I'm Jim Tarabokia. We wrap things up here. The Lancaster Barnstormers, 43-50, 9-15 in second half play. They will take on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who are 37-56, 11-13 here in second half play. And they're 3.5 games out of that first place spot in third place in the Freedom Division. Barnstormers in fourth place, and both are fighting for a playoff spot here in second half play. Game number 94 for the Blue Crabs, 7:05 first pitch here tonight in Waldorf from Regency Furniture Stadium. And it is coming up next, right here on the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Hey fans, come out to the ballpark as the Blue Crabs take on the Sugarland Skeeters on September 11th. It is a day to give thanks to our fire and emergency services personnel, so come stop by for Fire and Emergency Services Appreciation Day. It's also your last chance to get your favorite player's autograph at our pre-game autograph session. Very next day, on September 12th, the Blue Crabs take on the New Britain Bees. Do you have a dog? Well, now is your chance to bring it to a Blue Crabs ball game. Come to Bark in the Park, presented by Perfect Pet Resort, and Dollar Dog Night, and cheer on your Blue Crabs with your pup.
For tickets and information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
This is the Blue Crabs Baseball Network presented by Legal ID Shield.
A 1 pitch. The Blue Crabs return home from a 7-game road trip after going 4-3, and they're in the thick of things in the Freedom Division, checking in with a record of 11-13, while the Lancaster Barnstormers on the other side are in last place here in second half play in the Freedom Division at 9-15 as these two teams start a 3-game series here tonight. Game 1 this evening between the Lancaster Barnstormers and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs baseball begins right now. A 1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, well hit to left, hooking towards the pole. It's hooking fair. It wraps around the pole. Michael Snyder, a solo home run. Burris kicks and fires. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Pitch. Swung on, chopped to first, glove by Snyder. Sidearm to second one. Sanchez turn on to first. Redding covering in time. Double play. Here's a swing and a fly ball. Well hit left field. It's on its way, and it is gone. Alfredo Marte tattooing a fastball. A 1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, well hit to left, hooking towards the pole. It's hooking fair. It wraps around the pole. Michael Snyder, a solo home run. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs baseball is presented by Legal ID Shield. Did you know that last year, 57 million Americans had at least one legal issue? Don't be just another statistic. For just $17.95 a month, Legal Shield provides coverage for single adults without dependents, legal advice letters, and phone calls on your behalf, legal document review, and trial defense. For more information, log on to LegalShieldAssociate.com/BowerMJ or call 571-337-3588. A little late, but we'll send it down to field level for our national anthem. And a good job with the national anthem. Blue Crabs have taken the field. It's time for our Legal ID Shield Starting lineups first for the Lancaster Barnstormers, wearing the gray tops with the gray pants and black caps here tonight. Positioned in the first base side dugout, managed by Butch Hobson. Checking in with a record of 43 and 50, 9 and 15 here in second half play. Caleb Gindle, the center fielder, will lead things off. Jeff Cobernis, the second baseman, bats second. Casey Hobson, yes, the son of Butch Hobson, is batting third. He is on fire with the bats since joining the Barnstormers. He's playing first base. Josh Bell cleans up, batting fourth. He's the third baseman. Sean Halton, the right fielder, bats fifth. Kevin Arenz, the shortstop, bats sixth. Mike McDade, the DH, is batting seventh. Trayvon Robinson, the left fielder, bats eighth. Charlie Cutler, the catcher, is batting ninth. Gindle, Cobernis, Hobson, Bell, Halton, Arenz, McDade, Robinson, Cutler, the lineup for the Barnstormers. For the Blue Crabs tonight, wearing the blue tops, baby blue fronts, navy blue backs, white pants, baby blue caps, navy blue brims. Positioned in the third base side dugout, managed by Jeremy Owens, checking in with a record of 37 and 56, 11 and 13 here in second half play. Antoine Richardson, the center fielder, leads things off. Darby Myers, the right fielder, is batting second. Bryant Nelson bats third. He's the third baseman. Michael Snyder is the first baseman, batting fourth. Gustavo Molina bats fifth. He is the catcher. Zach Wilson is batting sixth. He's the DH. Alfredo Marte, the left fielder, is batting seventh. Eric Garcia, the shortstop, bats eighth. Gary Brown, the second baseman, is batting ninth. Richardson, Myers, Nelson, Snyder, Molina, Wilson, Marte, Garcia, and Brown, the lineup for the Blue Crabs. Brian Burris, the left-hander on the hill, 8-4, 2.77 ERA, 20th game, 19th start, 107 and a third innings pitched, 33 earned runs, 32 walks, 96 strikeouts. Caleb Gindle will lead things off. Glad you're with us tonight on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Gindle, left-handed hitter, hitting at .296, 6 home runs, 49 RBIs. Burris ready to work. He's into his windup. Here's the pitch. Gindle squares, pulls back, and takes a strike. In at the knees. 7:05, right on time, first pitch here this evening at Regency Furniture Stadium. Game time temperature, 84 degrees, 67% humidity. Mix of sun and clouds, winds to the north 2 miles per hour. Change up on the next offering is in for a strike on the outside edge. And it is quickly 0-2. It'll be Gindle, Cobernis, and Hobson. Give the umpires in just a moment. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt with a slider. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Derek Moshe, the home plate umpire tonight. Donald Mayer, the first base umpire. Tim Detweiler, first time we're seeing him here this year at Regency Furniture Stadium. He is the third base umpire. Umpires tonight, black caps, baby blue tops, and the gray pants. The pitch, outside, a fastball runs off the corner. And the count levels to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive into right field. Myers sprinting in. Darby makes a one-hand chest-high catch on the run, and there's one away. It sounded like Gindle got jammed on that pitch on the inner half. Here's Jeff Cobernis now, the second baseman, hitting at .300 with a home run and 22 RBIs. The Barnstormers come in last place in the standings in second half play in the Freedom Division, which is very uncharacteristic of a Lancaster team, and in particular a Butch Hobson-managed team. Blue Crabs on the other side, third place, 3.5 games out of that first place spot. Here's the pitch. Cobernis looks at a changeup, in for a strike over the outer third. And it is 0-1. Yeah, to round out the standings, the Revolution are in second place at 12-11 behind the Skeeters, who are 15-10. Swing and a miss, a changeup. Cobernis out in front, 0-2 is the count, with Casey Hobson waiting to hit next. No score here in the top of the first inning, as Burris, the 6'2 left-hander, 35 years of age, ready to work, winds and fires. Swing and a miss, a changeup low and away, 3 straight strikes, 3 changeups, and Cobernis is the first strikeout victim at the hands of Brian Burris, who comes into the night fourth in the league with 96 strikeouts. In fact, his strikeout to per 9 inning ratio is at 8. That's the highest that it's been in his career since 2004, when he was in the Giants organization at High A San Jose. That year it was just under 8.5. 2 outs, nobody on for Casey Hobson. The pitch, and Hobson spins, trying out a spin out of the way of that fastball, and he gets hit. Clipped his right hip. And Casey, who going into that at-bat was hitting .303 with 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, is on base, a 2-out base runner. Fastball getting in just a little bit on Hobson, who was unable to get out of the way. Barnstormers with a runner on, 2 outs. No score. Here is Josh Bell hitting at .301, 12 home runs, 59 RBIs. Bell in the top 15 in the Atlantic League with those 12 home runs. He comes in hitting .405 in his last 10. Here's the kick and the pitch. In the dirt, Molina with the block, keeping it in front. As Hobson stays put at first base. 1 ball and no strikes is the count. Bell 6'4", 265 pounds. He's from Tempe, Arizona. Right-handed batter with a closed stance. The pitch. Downstairs. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes. No score here in the top of the first inning as Burst comes set, belt high. Hobson the lead off first, not running the pitch. Down and in with a fastball. And now it's quickly 3-0. Sean Halton is waiting to hit next. This Barnstormer team coming in, hitting at a 279 clip. The pitch on the way. Downstairs, and that's ball 4. 4-pitch walk issued to Bell. Moving up to second base is Hobson. The Barnstormers with something going here in the top of the first. No score. First and second with 2 outs. And now Sean Halton will stand in. Lancaster with that 279 batting average. Good for second in the Atlantic League behind Long Island, who I mentioned it last time they were here, a 281 batting average as a team. Coming into the night, I think they're the best offensive team in all of the league. Now the batter is Sean Halton, the right-handed hitting right fielder at .302, 16 home runs and 47 RBIs. This Barnstormer team, to me, just based off the statistics, is dangerous. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good changeup on the inner half. It's 0-1. And I look at the 3 guys, Hobson, Bell, and Halton. That's the heart of this order for Lancaster. They're all hitting over 300. And Bell and Halton have double-digit home runs. And Casey Hobson has 29 RBIs. And he's been with the Barnstormers for about a month. Here's the pitch. Inside with a fastball. And now it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kevin Arendz is waiting to hit next. Outfielders play straight away. The wind is blowing out to right center field. Burrs coming set at the belt. Spins around, throws to second. Brown with the quick tag, and it's too late. Hobson back in safely standing. Gary, we mentioned it, was mainly an outfielder in affiliated baseball. In fact, that's all he was an outfielder. And here he was brought in to be mainly an outfielder, but he's been playing second base as of late. He's also been exchanging in and out from center field, too. Down and in with the next offering, a fastball missing. And now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Brown playing in his 25th game at that second base position. And you look at it, too, defensively for the Blue Crabs. They've got 4 quality outfielders, and I think 2 or maybe 3 of those guys can play center on any given night. Here's the pitch home. In for a strike over the inside corner. Good fastball, 2-2. 2 outs, first and second, no score. As we're in the top of the first inning, Lancaster and Southern Maryland. 84-degree night. Some nice white puffy clouds up above. Very nice night for baseball. It looked like it was going to rain earlier, but nothing came of it. As Burris sets, checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Tad inside. The fastball not missing by much. I don't think it missed very high either. As the count is full at 3-2. Runners will have a head start. Game 1 of this 4-game series. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. That'll count to the second half. Game 3 will count to the first half. There was a rainout back in May. And then Game 4 will obviously be towards the second half as well. Burris coming set, runners their leads. They break, 3-2. Swinging a looper out to short, gloved on 1 bounce by the charging Garcia. Shuffles the feet, throws to first, and the inning is over. Barnstormers leaving 2 runners on, one of them in scoring position. Blue Crabs coming to bat, bottom of the first, no score. This is the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Fans come out to the ballpark on August 26th as it's a Salute the Troops night presented by Chick-fil-A of Charles County and the St. Charles Companies. It is also Redskin Youth Football Night. Come show your Redskins pride.
August 27th is Prater Willie Awareness Night and Jersey Auction Night. Another fireworks extravaganza performance will be put on, so come out, relax, and enjoy some baseball.
August 28th is Backfin Buddies Day, courtesy of Chick-fil-A, Smecco Day, and there's a pregame autograph session as well. Kids get into play for free in Pinch's Playground and run the bases after the game. Out of the first, no score. Blue Crabs coming to bat. They will send Richardson, Myers, and Nelson to the plate against Kelvin de la Cruz. Barnstormers leaving 2 runners on in that top of the first. Defensively for Lancaster, Robinson, Gindel, Halton left to right in the outfield. Bell, Arends left side of the infield. Copernis, Hobson right side of the infield. Cutler's behind the plate. De la Cruz is on the mound 4-2, 2.70 ERA. Richardson leads off. Here's the windup and the pitch. In for a strike, a fastball popping into the mitt of Cutler over the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Richardson, switch hitter, batting right at 189. Still has yet to record a home run or RBI. Here's the kick and the pitch. Inside at the knees. As that fastball backs Richardson off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count, with Darby Myers waiting to hit next. Here's the pitch. Richardson squares, drops down the bunt right side. De La Cruz off onto the grass, gloves, spins, and throws to first. Richardson is out. Richardson with that good speed trying to bunt his way on. 1 out, nobody on for Darby Myers in a scoreless bottom half of inning number 1. De La Cruz in his 8th start, 43 1/3 innings pitched. 13 earned runs, 7 walks, 37 strikeouts. This is 8th start with Lancaster. He came over in a trade from York for Travis Witherspoon back on June 17th. The pitch on the way. Myers squares, pulls back, takes a strike in at the knees, a fastball. And it is 0-1. Lights are on here at the ballpark. Some daylight sky up above. Big white puffy clouds as well. It's a gorgeous night for baseball. Here's the windup in the next offering. Swing and a fly ball, well hit, left center field. Gindel, Robinson a long run. Gindel, the center fielder, into the alleyway. Caleb makes a one-hand running catch, stepping onto the warning track. The center fielder putting that one away. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Bryant Nelson. And Nelson, of course, is the big story of this ball game. 1 hit away from becoming the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader. Nelson tying Jeff Nettles for the most hits in Atlantic League history, 1,052. Back on Sunday against New Britain. Switch hitter, batting from the right side, 294, 1 home run, 32 driven in. The pitch. Looks it over. Called strike over the outer third, a fastball. And it is 0-1. 13th in the league with 93 hits. Here's the pitch. In for a strike at the knees. There's a fastball right there. And it is 0-2. His mom, Peggy, is watching tonight. Son Prince watching as well. Quick pitch. And the next offering, a changeup in the dirt. That time, what I meant by quick pitch was that De La Cruz barely lifted up the leg. He just fired home. It was kind of a rushed sort of windup. 2 outs, nobody on. No score, bottom first. Outfielder shade towards right center field. Nelson looking for history. Here's the kick. Now the next offering. Swing and a miss, a changeup. And Bryant is down on strikes. De La Cruz works a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the second. No score. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Blue Crabs fans, is your brand, business, or organization looking to increase exposure and gain new and diverse consumers in this Southern Maryland market? Look no further than the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and Regency Furniture Stadium. Our business partners are afforded unparalleled access to our consumer base of fans from attractive and potentially lucrative demographics with disposable income. Call today at 301-374-1133 for more information or to set up a consultation.
Piece of land out in the countryside, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good...
This is Justin Berg. Thanks for listening to Blue Crabs Baseball. Now back to the game.
Kevin Arenz leads off as we head to the top half of the second inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Lancaster, Southern Maryland scoreless here in Game 1 of this 4-game series. Arenz hitting at .271, 8 homers, 49 RBIs, right-handed batter. Here's the kick and the pitch. Up high with a fastball, and it's 1-0. The Barnstormers putting 2 guys on in that top of the first and leaving both of them, one of them in scoring position, but both on base. Here's the kick and the pitch. In for a strike with a fastball down the heart of the plate. The 26-year-old Kevin Arenz. He was drafted in the first round by the Blue Jays in 2007 out of Memorial High School. The wind and the next offering. Swing and a fly ball lifted in the air to right center field. Richardson gliding over to his left. He's called off by Myers, the right fielder, who makes a one-hand catch in the right center field gap. One out for Mike McDade. No score here in the top of the second. And, of course, the big story of tonight's game, as we alluded to in the pregame, is Bryant Nelson and his chase for history tonight. 1 hit away from becoming the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader. Dade switch hitter batting right, the pitch. In for a strike, a slider over the inner third. I think the other story, though, of this game is Brian Burris, who is 8-4 on the year, his 50th career Atlantic League start in his 55th game. The pitch. A strike, a fastball over the outside edge. 4-0 since June 24th is Burris, a 2.57 ERA. He's won 3 of his last 4 starts. The wind and the next offering. Inside with a fastball. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burris into the wind, kicks, delivers. Fastball in tight at the thighs. And the count levels to 2-2. Burris from Nashville, Tennessee, 6'2", 195 pounds. He's had quite a nice year, an all-star. He was the all-star game starter for the Freedom Division. The pitch, outside. Full count, 3-2. He won his 100th game back in June against York, June 24th. Went 6 innings that night. Here's the wind, 3-2 pitch. Swung on, lifted in the air to straightaway center. Easy play for Richardson, shading the eyes in the sunlight. Antoine, medium depth center, makes a one-hand grab near the brim of his cap. 2 gone. No score here in the top of the second inning. I remember talking to Burris, by the way, after that start where he won his 100th professional game. And he didn't even know that it was win number 100. He's got 103 wins now in total in what has been a fine career for him, which has spanned all the way to the major league level. Here's Trayvon Robinson, left fielder. Switch hitter batting right. Takes the first offering, high and away, a fastball. And it's 1-0. Trayvon hitting at an even 300 with 1 RBI. Burris into the windup. Here's the pitch. A strike over the outside edge. There was a heater right there out of the left hand of Burris. And it is 1 ball and 1 strike. Brian looking for the 1-2-3 inning. We're scoreless. Top of the second inning, 2 outs. The pitch on the way. In tight, and that got the front left knee, I think, of Trayvon Robinson. Trayvon was traded to Lancaster July 23rd. Off to a pretty good start in his time with the Barnstormers. Right there, hit by the pitch. And that's the third base runner of the night for Lancaster. And by the way, that's the second batter that's been hit tonight. The first one was KC Hobson back in the top of the first. Here's Charlie Cutler hitting at .292 with 4 home runs, 28 RBIs. A left-handed batter. Trying to keep this inning alive. No score here in the top of the second inning. First working off the third base edge of the rubber. Nelson plays well off the line at third. Garcia, his normal position, playing at shortstop. Wind blows out to right center field. Robinson, with 2 stolen bases in his time with the Barnstormers, takes his lead off of first base. He is held on by Snyder. The pitch on the way. In the dirt. Molina has it skipped through his legs right behind the umpire's chalk box. And it is 1 ball and no strikes. No advancement from Trayvon Robinson. Cutler, the number 9 hitter, the catcher. He played his college baseball at the University of California, Berkeley. 14th round draft pick by the Cardinals in 2008. Cutler also a guy who has the ability to play the outfield. He's got a very strong arm. Here's a toss over to first. Robinson back in safely, standing. That's a scouting report that I read that told me that he has a very strong arm and he has that ability to play the corner outfield positions. A lot of times you'll see with catchers, they could play that corner outfield position because they could hold up with their bat in terms of power. And that's kind of the case with Cutler. Next offering, a strike. Fastball in at the knees. And it's 1-1. The on-deck hitter is Caleb Gindel. 2 outs. No score here in the top of the second inning. Robinson is the runner over at first base. The outfielders play straight away. Speed all the way around with Martain left, Richardson in center, Myers in right. Burrs from the belt with an outside target. Kicks and delivers home. Swung on, lifted in the air to right center field. Richardson, moving over to his left, on the jog, makes a one-hand running catch near right center. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, a hit batter, and 1 man left. Barnstormers have already left 3 runners on base here tonight. Moving on to the bottom of the second, Lancaster, Southern Maryland scoreless. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
ID Shield, a division of Legal Shield, continues the mission of providing identity protection to more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. Teamed with Crow, no other company combines the expertise of the most knowledgeable identity protection specialists in the industry. The team of dedicated individuals does whatever it takes for as long as it takes to keep you and your family safe. For more information, log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ or contact Marcellus and Jeanette Boware at 571-337-3588.
Bottom half of the second inning, Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs scoreless. Thanks for being with us tonight on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. De La Cruz set the Blue Crabs down in order 1-2-3 in that bottom of the first. Second inning work. Snyder, Molina, and Wilson due up. Barnstormers have had 3 base runners. They've yet to record a hit. All 3 base runners left on base, and 2 of them in scoring position. Snyder hitting .321, tied for the league lead with 16 home runs and 40 driven in. Snyder hitting .433 in his last 10 games. He stands in right side against De La Cruz, who works in the middle of the rubber. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a hot shot to third. Knocked down on one bounce by Bell. Picks it up with the bare hand. Fires across in time. A nice chest-high throw to Hobson. And Snyder is out by 2 steps. He hit that one really hard, first pitch swinging. And Bell did a nice job to knock it down, keep his composure, and zip a throw over to first base. Here's Molina now, hitting at .291 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. He had a big night on Friday against New Britain. He drove in 6 runs. That was the most RBIs in one game by any Blue Crab this year. Here's the pitch. Swung on, tipped into the mitt, foul of Cutler. 1 out, no score here in the bottom of the second inning. Molina returning to the lineup on July 25th, as the next offering is up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. He missed 65 games with that broken toe. Here's the kick in the next offering. Swung on, chopped towards third, foul. Outside the bag, rolling into the Blue Crabs bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Southern Maryland glad to have him back. Last year, he was on his way to an MVP season. He led the league in home runs at one point, RBIs, hits, and OPS. Swing and a miss on the next offering, a fastball. That was a quick pitch again from De La Cruz. We've seen that a couple of times here tonight. That's his second strikeout. Molina missing that pitch down in the zone. 2 outs, nobody on. No score. Here's Zach Wilson on the bottom half of the second inning. On the Atlantic League out-of-town scoreboard at New Britain Stadium in the bottom of the third, Revolution a 2-1 lead over the Bees. The pitch on the way. Wilson swings and fouls it straight back over the screen, out of play. Top of the second at TD Bank Ballpark, the Long Island Ducks and the Somerset Patriots scoreless. And at Harbor Yard, top of the second, Skeeters and the Bluefish scoreless. Wilson hitting at .273, 10 homers, 42 driven in. Chops the next offering, foul outside of third into the third base coach's box. Jeremy Owens picks it up, hands it to a young fan towards the furthest end of the Blue Crabs dugout. Owens, the manager and third base coach for the Blue Crabs. Joe Walsh manning things in the first base coach's box. The pitch. Wave and a miss. There's a fastball in the outer half, and Wilson went chasing. Back-to-back strikeouts, 3 in the game for the left-hander De La Cruz. At the end of 2 innings of play, Lancaster and Southern Maryland scoreless. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
ID Shield is the best way to protect your identity. If you become a victim of identity theft, ID Shield spends up to $5 million to do everything that it can to restore your identity. ID Shield is dedicated to your safety. Their identity specialists are focused on protection. They provide you with the services that walk you through all the steps to protect yourself. ID Shield monitors all of your personal information from social security numbers, credit cards, and bank accounts. ID Shield monitors everything from your passport, email, phone numbers, driver's license information, and much more. ID Shield is the only company that is partnered with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. ID Shield partnered with Kroll protects the identities of more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. For more information, call 571-337-3588 or log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ.
This is Jeremy Owens, manager of the Blue Crabs. Thanks for listening to Blue Crab Baseball. Now back to the game.
Brian Burris finishing up his warm-up tosses. No score heading to the top of the third. Lancaster and Southern Maryland. Glad you're with us tonight on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Top of the order, Gindel, Coburnus, and Hobson due up. Barnstormers putting 3 runners on base here in the game. They've yet to record a hit. Burrs has hit 2 batters, Hobson and Robinson, and he walked Bell. All 3 base runners left on. And 2 of them in scoring position. Gindel, left-handed batter. He flew out to right his first time up. Burris off the third base edge of the rubber. Wipes the sweat off his brow with his bare left hand. Bryan into the windup. Here's the pitch. Hindle swings and fouls it back to the screen. And it's 0-1. Caleb, a fifth-round draft pick by the Brewers in 2007. His claim to fame is that he made his Major League debut on June 15th, 2013 against the Reds, and the guy he replaced was Ryan Braun on the roster. The pitch. Swung on, fouled back over the screen, out of play. And it is quickly 0-2. He's 27 years of age, I think still very young, and has a shot to get back into affiliated baseball. He's having a good year this year, coming into the night, hitting at .296. 0-2. High and away with a fastball. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Look at a lot of these guys, a Gindle, maybe a Coburnus, Casey Hobson, who's due up third in the inning. These are guys who have shots to get back into affiliated ball. Next offering, a check swing, a changeup. The appeal, he went. Third base umpire Tim Detweiler with the call. And that's the second strikeout for Burris here this evening. Good pitch. Here's Jeff Coburnus with 1 out. No score here in the top of the third inning. Coburnus struck out swinging his first time. Burris has thrown 38 pitches, 20 strikes, and 18 balls. Coburnus, right-handed hitter. Burris kicks and fires home. A strike with a changeup on the inside. Burris' 19th start of this 2016 campaign. Bryan into the windup. Here's the pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has not lost since June 14th. He comes into the night ranked in the top 10 in the Atlantic League in numerous categories. Swing and a miss. Coburnus behind on a fastball in the next offering. And it's 1-2. He ranks in the top 10 in wins, tied for second in that category. Third in ERA. Third most innings pitched, and fourth most strikeouts in the league. Bryan rocks, kicks, and fires. Swung on, bounced weakly to third. Nelson charging. Scoops on the short hop. Off balance, throw to first is in time. Good play by Bryant Nelson. Got that short hop, snagging it on the glove side. 42-year-old, and I've said this before about him defensively. The 42-year-old does not look like he is 42 out there defensively. You know, he has played a couple of games this year at shortstop as well. He's a fine defender as much as he is a hitter. Forget the age. Here's Casey Hobson. No score, top of the third, 2 outs. Lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch home. Hobson looks at a changeup, a strike at the knees. Casey hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. KC spelled just simply K.C. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Swung about 75% that time as he was fooled on the changeup out in front on that front foot. That slowed down the bat speed. And there's 0-2. Burris kicks, delivers. Swung on, popped him up a mile high in the air, right behind second in the middle of the diamond. Garcia circles over to his left, and the shortstop directly behind second makes a one-hand catch. So the son of Butch Hobson, yes, that is the son of Butch Hobson. He pops out, and that'll do it. Burris works a 1-2-3 inning, his first one here tonight. 2.5 in the books. Lancaster and Southern Maryland scoreless. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, great seats are still available. Group tickets start as low as $10 per person. We also offer very affordable luxury suites and picnic area packages. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
If you can't make it to the park, you can listen to every Blue Crabs home game
on the Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
This is Jeremy Owens, manager of the Blue Crabs. Thanks for listening to Blue Crab Baseball. Now back to the game.
Heading to the home half of the third here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Lancaster and Southern Maryland scoreless here tonight. Alfredo Marte will start things. Bottom three in the order. Marte, Garcia, and Brown due up. Kelvin De La Cruz, the left-hander, ready to work. Winds and fires. Outside with a fastball. Marte hitting at 240, 7 home runs, and 19 RBIs. De La Cruz fires home. In the dirt. Fastball, changeup, and a slider. That's the repertoire for Kelvin De La Cruz, who has thrown 15 strikes, 5 balls, a pitch count of just 20. He's retired 6 straight as Marte looks over the next offering outside. And it is 3-0. On the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard tonight, top of the second inning, Philadelphia up 2-0 in Philly over San Francisco. Strike called to Marte, taking all the way on 3-0. Now it's 3-1. Texas, Baltimore scoreless, top of the third inning. Bottom second, White Sox and the Tigers also scoreless. Kansas City 1-0 lead over Tampa Bay, bottom second, in St. Petersburg, Florida. Minnesota, Cleveland, top second, scoreless. Yankees and the Mets, game 2 of the Subway Series, scoreless. That game in the top of the second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. There's a high fastball, and Marte was behind. Full count 3-2. Bottom of the second inning, Pittsburgh, Atlanta scoreless. 1-0 Cincinnati with the lead over St. Louis. That game in the top of the second. Miami and Chicago, 8:05 start. Marlins and the Cubs. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swung on, chopped foul, third base side off the dugout fencing. Toronto, Houston, 8:10 start. Dodgers and the Rockies, an 8:40 start. 9:40 Washington and Arizona. 10:05 start. Oakland and Los Angeles of Anaheim. 10:10 start. Boston, Seattle, Milwaukee, San Diego. A 10:10 start on the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Marte was late. So down 3-0 in the count. De La Cruz comes all the way back. He has struck out 3 straight hitters going back to last inning. And 4 of the last 5. Eric Garcia will stand in. No score here in the bottom of the third with 1 out. The windup and the pitch. In for a strike over the outside corner. Garcia hitting at 222 with 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. Here's the kick and the pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. De La Cruz, 6'5", 190 pounds. He is from La Vega, Dominican Republic. And he was picked up from York for Travis Witherspoon in that swap on June 17th. Next offering home. Swing and a miss. There's a changeup. Garcia out in front. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Gary Brown, the number 9 hitter, is the guy on deck. Game 1 of this 4-game series. Really, it's game 1 of a 3-game series. Game 2 of the doubleheader tomorrow counts to the first half. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A sweeping slider. And that time, De La Cruz dropping down to a 3/4 arm slot. He is feeling it right now on the mound. He's got 5 strikeouts. 4 straight have been victim to the strikeout going back to last inning. Here is Gary Brown. Fans, September 14th is the final Blue Crabs home game of the 2016 season. It's almost that time. It's amazing. As the Blue Crabs take on the New Britain Bees. It's Fan Appreciation Night and Jersey Auction Night, benefiting the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center Foundation. For tickets and more information, call 301-638-9788 or log on to somdbluecrabs.com. Here's the pitch. Brown squares, pulls back, takes inside at the knees, and that's ball 1. Gary hitting at 218 with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. Here's the difference with his home run in the bottom of the 7th a couple of weeks ago here at home against Long Island. Blue Crabs taking 2 of 3 that series. Strike called, next offering, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody on base, no score, bottom of the 3rd inning. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Brown was tied up on a pitch on the inner half. Good fastball. And now it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfielders shading towards right center field. Lights are on, beaming down on the playing field. De La Cruz into the wind, the pitch. Swing and a miss! A fastball. How about De La Cruz striking out the side? He's got 6 strikeouts through 3 innings of work already. Retires 9 straight, and he has struck out 5 in a row going back to last inning. At the end of 3 innings of play, we are scoreless. Lancaster and Southern Maryland on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, come out to the ballpark August 2nd against Lancaster. It's Hearing Professionals, Silver Sluggers, night number 7. Free popcorn Tuesdays, presented by RC Theaters Lexington Exchange for the first 500 fans. On August 3rd, 11:05 special start time, it's Camp and Recreation Day. And on August 4th against the Barnstormers, it's National Night Out Celebration and Foster's Grill, Wings, and Beer Night. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788. Top half of the 4th inning, Lancaster and Southern Maryland scoreless here tonight. Game 1 of this 4-game series. What a gorgeous evening. Lights are on here at Regency Furniture Stadium. A mix of sun and clouds up above, those white puffy clouds. It is a perfect summer night here in Maryland this evening. Glad you're with us on the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Josh Bell will start things. It'll be Bell, Halton, and Arenz. 4, 5, 6 in the order. Josh, switch hitter, batting from the right side. He walked in his first plate appearance. Burris deals the first offering over the outside corner. Strike one called, a fastball. Barnstormers with 3 base runners tonight. All 3 left on base. The windup and the pitch home. Swinging a chopper to short. Garcia moving to his left. He scoops, shuffles, and fires to first. Bell is out. 6-3 on the putout. Here's Sean Halton. Burris recording his first 1-2-3 inning in that top of the 3rd. He's got 2 strikeouts. He's hit 2 batters and has walked a guy. Over on the other side, the other story of this game has been Kelvin De La Cruz, the left-hander. He has struck out 5 straight, going back to 1 out in that bottom of the 2nd. Halton grounded out to Garcia at short his first time. Takes his time getting into the right-handed batter's box. Bryan into the windup. Here's the pitch home. Swung on, grounded to 3rd. Nelson's got it, shuffling the feet, fires it across, a little bit high, and Snyder pulled off the bag. Nelson unloads a high throw. Snyder caught it and then tried to come back down on the bag, and his left foot missed. Halton is safe at first base, and that'll be an error on Bryant Nelson, his 7th of the year. Barnstormers still without a hit. And that goes for the Blue Crabs on the other side as well. 1 on, 1 out, and Kevin Arenz will stand in. Kevin, a right-handed hitter, flew out to Myers in right his first time. Here's the pitch. Outside with a fastball. Burris has thrown 29 strikes, 20 balls, a pitch count of 49. So his pitch count is a little bit higher than De La Cruz's. Even with that, though, Burris has yet to allow a hit. Inside target from Molina. The pitch on the way. And a strike over the outer 3rd. Blue Crabs with the 7-6 advantage over Lancaster this season. Barnstormers hold the all-time edge, 89-73. Slider on the next offering, spins in, a called strike at the knees. Good pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Burris looking for strikeout number 3. Sun is set, off to our right on the first base side. 1-2 is the count. Burris from the belt. Snyder holding on. Halton at first. Here's the pitch. Inside and low. The count levels to 2-2, no score, top 4. Burris from the belt. Kicks, delivers. Swung on, chopped to short. Garcia collects. Sidearms to second one. Brown is not able to make a clean transfer. Halton erased off the base paths. Arendz safe with the fielder's choice. 1 on 2 outs now, no score, top of the 4th. And Mike McDade will stand in. Switch hitter batting from the right side. McDade, the DH, hitting .419 in his last 10 games. He flew out to center field his first time up. McDade, 6'1", 250 pounds. He's still very young, 26 years of age. He was a 6th-round selection by the Blue Jays back in 2007 out of Silverado High School. Here's the pitch. Outside with a fastball. You know, you look at this lineup, Mike McDade for Lancaster could easily be hitting 3rd or 4th on the Blue Crabs or really any other team in the league, but Lancaster has a really good heart of the order with Hobson, Bell, and Halton, and even Arendz at this point. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. McDade was out in front. He is batting 7th, where in the beginning of the year, I remember that opening series here at Regency Furniture Stadium, he batted 4th for a couple of games, and he's got a lot of power, too. He hit a career-high 21 home runs in 2010. Hit 280 last year in 70 games with the Barnstormers. Next offering is in the dirt. Molina with the backhand pick. Arendz over there at first base. 8 stolen bases in 9 attempts. 2-1. He's held on by Snyder, taking his lead. Outfielders play straight away. Burris sets, kicks, delivers. Outside. There's a fastball right there missing. Now a good hitter's count. And 3-1. Burris pausing at the belt. Lifts the leg and fires. Swung on, tipped into the mitt of Molina. Full count 3-2. And now Kevin Arendz will have a head start. Burris coming set. Arendz breaks for second. 3-2 pitch. Up high with a fastball. And that's the second walk issued by Burris. So 6 base runners in the game for the Barnstormers, and they have yet to record a hit. Here's Trayvon Robinson now. He's got an RBI chance. Guy who has just 1 RBI in his short stint with Lancaster. He came over in a trade from Somerset on July 23rd. Hit .235 this year with 9 home runs and 28 RBIs with Somerset. Switch hitter batting right, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball sharply at the third. Glove by Nelson. He takes it to third base for the force. And the Barnstormers leaving another runner on base. First and second, unable to push that run across. 3.5 in the books. Lancaster and Southern Maryland scoreless. You're listening to the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, join us at Regency Furniture Stadium on August 5th as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs take on the York Revolution. It'll be Salute the Troop Night presented by Chick-fil-A of Charles County and the St. Charles Companies, as well as Craft Fair Night, Beach Party Night, and a firework extravaganza presented by PNC. The very next night on August 6th, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs continue to take on the York Revolution for Southern Maryland Library Night presented by Southern Maryland Regional Library Association. It'll also be Urgent Care Night and a jersey auction presented by the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center. For more information, log online to www.somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
half of the fourth inning. We're scoreless, Lancaster and Southern Maryland. And the big story of this ball game in this scoreless contest tonight is that, well, each team has yet to register a hit, but Kelvin De La Cruz, the left-hander for Lancaster, who struck out 10 batters, by the way, in his last start, has 6 strikeouts through 3 innings of work. In fact, he's got 5 straight strikeouts going back to 1 out in the second. Richardson leads off. Here's the pitch. A little bit low with a changeup. Antoine switch hitter batting right. He grounded out his first time. De La Cruz working in the middle of the rubber. The pitch home. A strike with a changeup at the knees. De La Cruz shut out Sugarland in 7 innings of work, where he had those 10 strikeouts last Wednesday. Allowed 5 hits, all of them singles. Here's the pitch. In for a strike at the knees. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Those 10 strikeouts, the highest this year personally for him. The kick and the pitch home. Swung on, grounded back to De La Cruz. He gloves it, jogs onto the grass, and flips underhand to first. One thing I've noticed about De La Cruz is that he has a couple of different deliveries. 3/4 arm slot. That time he twirled around at the waist and then came home, kind of like Johnny Cueto would sometimes. And I'm trying to think of the other type of deliveries he's had here in this game alone. Oh, he's had the short pitch as well. Barbie Myers, the batter, takes the first offering outside, and that's ball 1. No score, bottom 4. Nobody on base. Myers flew out to center his first time. But yeah, we've seen a couple of different mechanical deliveries from De La Cruz. The pitch, swing and a miss, a fastball. That time it was more normal. Just went to his windup, lift the leg, and came home with the pitch. When he's used that 3/4 arm slot tonight, it's been with that sweeping slider. 1-1. Turns, kicks, and fires. Inside and low. Backs Myers off the plate. And no, he got hit by the pitch. He looked back at home plate umpire Derek Moshe to confirm, but I think that grazed his back right foot or shin area. So that breaks a streak of 10 straight retired by De La Cruz. Blue Crabs with their first base runner of the game. Here is Bryant Nelson. No score. Bottom of the 4th, 1 out. Nelson, 1 hit away from Atlantic League history, becoming the all-time hits leader. Get your cameras out right now, because this is a moment in time that people will remember forever. Nelson, switch hitter batting right. He struck out swinging his first time. Quick toss over, and Myers back in safely standing. For Nelson, he's first in Atlantic League history in at-bats, second in games played. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul, back to the backstop. 3rd in doubles, 5th in RBIs, 7th in runs scored in Atlantic League history. Tied for the most hits all time at 1,052. A mark that he set last Sunday against New Britain. From the belt, inside target. Quick toss over to first. Myers picked off. The throw to second base by Hobson. Arendz covering. He applies the tag to Myers. Darby is caught stealing. That's the 6th time this year that Myers has been caught stealing. He was leaning. De La Cruz recognized it. Threw over to first. Hobson and Arendz finishing off the rest. 1-3-6 on the putout. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 4th, and we are scoreless. De La Cruz ready to work. Into the wind. Here's the pitch home. Swung on, chopped weakly towards the left side of the infield. Bell charges, bare hands, throw to first, and it's in time. The third baseman on the cut of the grass making an accurate throw to retire Nelson. And Bryant is still 1 hit away from becoming the all-time hits leader in the Atlantic League. Quickly moving game here tonight. 4 innings in the books. Lancaster, Southern Maryland scoreless on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Since 2013, over 1 billion records have been compromised right here in our great nation. ID Shield's comprehensive identity protection service monitors for all signs of criminal activity and gives you all the resources you need to keep your identity secure from fraud. For just $9.95 per month, ID Shield provides unlimited consultation, complete monitoring, and a $5 million service guarantee. For more information, contact Marcellus and Jeanette Bower at 571-337-3588 or log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowerMJ.
This is Scott Snodgrass, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Top 5 here at Regency Furniture Stadium. We're scoreless. Lancaster in Southern Maryland. Brian Burris is ready to begin inning number 5. He's got 2 strikeouts in the game. He has walked 2 guys. Barnstormers tonight with 6 base runners and still no hits. By the way, neither team has a hit tonight. That's how good these 2 starting pitchers have been. Lancaster 4 runners left on, and 3 of them in scoring position. Burris off the third base edge. He is into the windup. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, and that's ball 1. Cutler flew out to center his first time up. It'll be Cutler, Gindel, and Coburnis against Brian Burris, who was looking for his 9th win here in 2016. The Freedom Division All-Star Team's starting pitcher. Swing and a line drive on the next offering into right center. That falls down for a base hit. Myers cuts it off in the gap, fielding it cleanly. And the first hit of the ball game for either team. Charlie Cutler is a leadoff base runner, top of the order, and Caleb Gindel will come to the plate. Yeah, Burris with those 8 wins, tied for 2nd in the Atlantic League. 3rd lowest ERA coming in at 2.77. The batter is Gindel. No score here in the top of the 5th. Left-handed batter. The pitch. Caleb looks at a pitch in the dirt. Molina the block to keep it in front and hold Cutler at first base. Charlie, by the way, don't be fooled by that position he plays at catcher. He has 8 stolen bases in 11 attempts this year. Snyder holding him on. Nelson is up on the cut of the grass at third, and just to, from our vantage point, the right of the cutout. Burris coming set at the belt. Outside target, here's the pitch home. Swing and a line drive, straightaway center. Richardson darting back, slowing down, makes a one-hand catch, 10 steps from the warning track. Cutler scampers back to first. And here's Jeff Coburnis. No score here in the top of the 5th inning. Thanks for being with us tonight on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Barnstormers 9-15 in second half play. That's the record that matters for both of these clubs, because neither team was able to secure a playoff spot in first half play. Barnstormers are in 4th place, while the Blue Crabs in 3rd place in the Freedom Division, and 3.5 games out of that first place spot behind Sugar Land. Coburnis, right-handed hitter, 0 for 2. 1 out, no score. Here's the pitch. Low and in, a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Lancaster opening up a 4-game series against the Blue Crabs tonight. The continuation of an 11-game road trip. Next offering. Fastball runs off the S and picks it up. Everybody is safe. And the Barnstormers with 1st and 2nd. And only 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning in a scoreless game here at Regency Furniture Stadium tonight. Let's see how they score that one. And it will be, in fact, an error on Gary Brown, who probably, with the speed of Coburnis, should have just thrown to first and got the out there and just let Cutler move into scoring position. Now, though, with that error committed, you've got first and second and one out for Hobson. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped towards first. Snyder charging, gloves it on the backhand with a short hot. He slips on the grass, but is able to flip it underhand to first with Burris covering. And Hobson out by 2 steps. I don't know what happened there with Snyder. He just lost his footing. Nice job to pick it, though, on the backhand on the short hop. Not an easy thing to do. Runners move up to second and third. 3-1 on the putout. 2 outs, no score, top of the 5th inning. And Josh Bell will stand in. Bell walked in his first plate appearance in the first. And he grounded out to the shortstop Garcia in the 4th. So the Barnstormers with another opportunity. They've got just 1 hit in the game. They've had 9 base runners. They've left 4 on here tonight, 3 of them in scoring position. From the belt, here's the pitch home. Slider up high. And that's ball 1 to the switch-hitting Bell. Batting from the right side. Josh coming into the night 32 for his last 84, a .381 batting average in his last 23 games. He's scored 15 and has knocked in 16. The pitch. Swinging a line drive, right center field. It's trouble. It drops down into the alleyway, splitting the outfielders and rolling to the wall. 1 run will score. Around third, Coburnus, he will score. Bell stops at second base as the relay throw is cut off by Brown. And it is 2-0 Barnstormers here in the top of the 5th on the 2-run double by Josh Bell. His 22nd double of the year, RBIs number 60 and 61. Lancaster finally figuring out Brian Burris. They've got 2 hits here in the inning. As Cutler scored from third, Coburnus scoring from second. And the batter will be Sean Halton. Halton climbs in right side. 16 home runs on the year. Tied for the league lead with Michael Snyder, who's deep over there at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped him up. Foul off first. Molina rips off the mask. Snyder giving it a look as well as it peels out of play about 2 rows deep beyond the Barnstormers dugout. 0-1 to Halton, who is 0 for 2 here in the game. Sean, in his last 32 games, has been on fire. A .354 batting average, 12 doubles, 11 home runs, 29 RBIs. He's got 6 homers in his last 8 games. That long brown hair flowing down towards his collarbone. Straightaway stance right side. Here's the pitch. Change up, strike at the belt. Very good pitch right there from Burris. 0-2. The on-deck hitter is Kevin Arends. Alton adjusting his red helmet. It's back in there. Toes up against the inner chalk line as Burris bends at the waist. 2-0 Barnstormers with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swung on, popped him up foul off first. And that'll twist out of play. Josh Bell inching off second. He had that 2-run double earlier in the inning. Krebs committing an error in the field as well. 2-0 Lancaster with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped foul of third. The last loss, by the way, that Brian Burris suffered was back on the 14th against Bridgeport. He went 6 innings that night. He allowed 1 run. It was not earned. He lost that game, by the way, 1-0. That's the type of season it's been for Burris. At times, he really hasn't gotten much run support, and that's the case here tonight. The pitch home. A little bit low, a fastball. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-0 Barnstormers, 2 runs on 2 hits. Blue Crabs have committed 2 errors in the game. Outfielders play straight away, wind blowing out to right center field. Overcast clouds up above. Here's the pitch. Up high. And that slider didn't really break that much. It was just left up in the zone. 2-2 is the count. As Halton climbs back in there. Burr straightening up, setting at the belt. The pitch on the way. Swing and a ground ball to short. Garcia gobbles it up, shuffles the feet, slings to first, and Halton is out by about a step. That'll do it for Lancaster. They score 2 runs on 2 hits. On the 2-run double by Josh Bell, 1 Blue Crabs error. And 1 man left in scoring position. Heading to the bottom of the 5th, it is Lancaster 2 and Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Hey, Blue Crabs fans, join us at the ballpark on August 7th as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs take on the York Revolution. It's Chick-fil-A Backfin Buddies Day number 7, Babies in Baseball, as well as pregame autograph sessions, kids play in Pinch's Playground for free, and postgame kids run the bases. After about a week off, the Blue Crabs come back to town on August 15th against the Bridgeport Bluefish for Bark in the Park presented by Perfect Pet Resort, as well as Dollar Hot Dog Night. And then on August 16th, it's Hearing Professional Silver Sluggers Day number 8, Shirt Off Your Back Clothing Drive, Thankful Tuesday, as well as free popcorn presented by RST Theaters Lexington Exchange for the first 500 fans. For more information, call 301-638-9788 or visit www.somdbluecrabs.com.
Moving on to the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. 2-0 Lancaster. 2 runs in that top of the 5th on Josh Bell's 2-run double. It'll be 4-5-6. Snyder, Molina, and Wilson due up. Kelvin De La Cruz has allowed just 1 base runner. He is no-hitting the Blue Crabs. Through 4 innings of work, he has 6 strikeouts. In fact, he struck out 5 straight. Going back to 1 out in the 2nd inning. Here's a strike at the knees to the right-handed hitting Snyder, who grounded out in his first at-bat back in the 2nd. 0-1 is the count. De La Cruz is a hard thrower, 92-93 with his fastball. Here's the pitch home. Low and away with a changeup. That time he spun around at the waist, whipped his head around towards center field, that 12-foot-high fence covered by the dark green tarp, whipped it back around to the plate and fired home. A lot of different combinations in his windup tonight. Here's the pitch. And a strike clipping the outside corner. That time it was a little bit more normal. Just stepped back, turned, lift the leg, and came home with the pitch. 1-2 to Snyder with Molina on deck. The pitch. Swung on, tapped left side of the infield. De La Cruz off onto the grass. Gloves, spins, fires to first. Snyder is out. 1-3 on the putout here is Molina. 2-0 Barnstormers, bottom half of the 5th inning. 33 strikes and just 12 balls tonight thrown by De La Cruz. A pitch count of 45. Blue Crabs still being no-hit. Here's Molina. He struck out swinging to start that span of 5 straight strikeouts for De La Cruz, with 1 out back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The kick and the pitch. Outside with a fastball. So the Blue Crabs are 12-7 since they started things after the All-Star break. Here's the pitch. Swung on, bounced foul of third as it bangs off the sidewall towards the furthest end of the Blue Crabs dugout. Right there on the third base side. Zipped right by the bullpen as well. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anyway, I think a big reason, at least basing it off of some statistics, as to why they have that record since after the All-Star break. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped him up. A mile high in the air, shallow right center. Back from second base goes Coburnis calling, and Jeff makes a 2-hand catch 10 feet on the outfield grass. 2 outs, nobody on, 2-0 Barnstormers. You look at the Blue Crabs, Brian Burrs, Brian Grenning, both ranking in the top 5 in the league in ERA. And also ranking in the top 10 in strikeouts, with the 4th and the 8th most respectively the last 30 days. Now on the other side of things, Snyder offensively, 3rd highest batting average in the last 30 days. Darby Myers, the 10th highest batting average over the last 30 days as well. Here's a called strike to Zach Wilson, right-handed hitting DH, and it's 0-1. Things have steadily improved in all facets of the game for the Blue Crabs. Swing and a miss, as Wilson on that 0-1 pitch fooled on the changeup in the dirt, and it is 0-2. Nobody on base, 2-0 Barnstormers with 2 outs. Blue Crabs fighting for a playoff spot, 3.5 games out of first place in the Freedom Division here in second half play. In the dirt with the next offering, a changeup, it's 1-2. 11-13 behind first place Sugarland and second place York, who, by the way, won the Freedom Division in the first half. Marte is on deck. Wilson struck out swinging his first time. 1-2 with 2 outs, 2-0 Barnstormers. The windup, here's the pitch home. Swing and a miss. Zach tied up on a fastball in the inner half. That's 7 strikeouts for De La Cruz. He's 3 off his personal season high as the Blue Crabs are set down in order. 1-2-3. We head to the top of the 6th inning, Lancaster 2. And Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Hey, Blue Crabs fans, join us at the ballpark on August 7th as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs take on the York Revolution. It's Chick-fil-A Backfin Buddies Day number 7, Babies in Baseball, as well as pregame autograph sessions, kids play in Pinch's Playground for free, and postgame kids run the bases. After about a week off, the Blue Crabs come back to town on August 15th against the Bridgeport Bluefish for Bark in the Park presented by Perfect Pet Resort, as well as Dollar Hot Dog Night. And then on August 16th, it's Hearing Professional Silver Sluggers Day number 8, Shirt Off Your Back Clothing Drive, Thankful Tuesday, as well as free popcorn presented by RST Theaters Lexington Exchange for the first 500 fans. For more information, call 301-638-9788 or visit www.somdbluecrabs.com.
Top half of the 6th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. 2-0, Lancaster out in front of Southern Maryland. The 2-run double by Josh Bell back in the 5th inning. That's been the difference tonight. Arends, McDade, Robinson do up against Brian Burris. Left-hander off the third base edge. Winds up and fires. Swung on, pulled on the ground foul. Third base side off the dugout fencing. And it is 0-1. Blue Crabs being out-hit tonight. 3-0. Down in the runs column as well. 2-0. Kelvin De La Cruz, the left-hander on the other side with 7 strikeouts. Here's the pitch home. Change up, outside. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to Arends, who spent 7 seasons in the Toronto and Atlanta organization. Next offering, a strike over the outside corner. Then it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kevin, 6'2", 210 pounds. 26 years of age, 0 for 2 tonight. The next offering, in the dirt, a slider. And that kicks by Molina. And now it's 2-2. Burris has thrown 80 pitches up to this point, 47 strikes and 33 balls. Brian looking for strikeout number 3, delivers home. Swung on, grounded towards third. It's fair. Past the diving Nelson as it rolls down the line and into the corner. Marte plays the carom. Aarons digs for second. He's in there safely standing. And it's a leadoff double for Kevin Arends. Double number 19 on the year. Barnstormers with a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 6th inning to get things started. Here's Mike McDade. McDade, the DH, 0 for 1. He flew out to center in the 2nd and walked in his last plate appearance in the 4th. Barnstormers 4 hits tonight, 2 of them extra base hits, both doubles. Dade with that open stance right side as Burrs bending at the waist. 2-0 Lancaster, top of the 6th inning. Check of the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Downstairs with the changeup. And that's ball 1. The wind picks up here as it blows out to right center field. Some overcast clouds up above. The sun is set off to our right on the first base side. Next offering home. Inside at the knees. And it's 2-0. Last time I checked the radar, I did not see any rain, so I think we should be okay. 2-0 Lancaster. Arends with that lead off of second base. Here's the pitch home. McDade looks it over, a changeup low and away. And now it's 3 balls and no strikes. Lancaster 9-15 here in second half play. They've dropped 12 out of their last 18 games. Hard to believe for a team that last year was on fire in the second half, and they won the Freedom Division, earning a spot in the playoffs. 3-0. Outside, and that's ball 4. Burst issuing another walk. Third free pass issued tonight by Bryan. First and second. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. The positive for the Blue Crabs is that sets up the double play. It will be hard to turn that double play. Robinson has good speed, a switch hitter. He'll bat from the right side as Jeremy Owens at the third base side coach's box. He'll talk things over with Burrs. Now the bad news is base hit here will probably score Arends. An extra base hit would probably score McDade as well. Robinson hit by the pitch in the 2nd inning, and he grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Jeremy meeting with the entire infield. Jeremy's done a great job to keep these guys focused here in second half play, and they're in the thick of things. 3.5 games out of that first place spot in the Freedom Division. Burrs has not had his best stuff here tonight. We've seen him do a lot better. For example, at times this year he has retired 9 straight, 10 straight, 12 of 13. Tonight that has not been the case. In fact, Burrs has had just 1-2-3, or I should say a 1-1-2-3 inning, and that was back in the 3rd inning. Robinson the batter, meeting at the mound over. First and second, 2-0 Barnstormers. The pitch on the way. Check swing. The appeal, did he go? Yes, he did. First base umpire Donald Mayer with the call. As that changeup had Robinson out in front. It is 0-1. Trayvon adjusting the batting gloves, climbing right back in there. The speedy, switch-hitting center fielder. Check of the runner at second base. The pitch on the way. He squares. Drops down the bunt in front of the mound. Burris off onto the grass. Scoops, spins, and tosses to first. Snyder staying home. 1-3 on the putout. In the third base, Arends to second, McDade. Second and third, 1 out for Lancaster, up 2-0. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Fans, did you know that Legal Shield has 39 provider law firms, 1,100 provider lawyers, and 20 years of average legal experience? Legal Shield provides legal protection that you can trust. For more information, log on to LegalShieldAssociate.com/Bulware MJ. 1 out, a big RBI chance here for Charlie Cutler. Left-handed hitting catcher. 1 out of 2, a single, a run scored in that 2-run 5th. The pitch home. Cutler swings and lines one to right center. Myers darts over to his right, makes a one-hand running catch. Tagging from third, Arends. The throw comes into second. Kevin will score, touching the plate. Sacrifice fly, RBI for Cutler, his 29th RBI of the year. And it is 3-0 Lancaster here in the top of the 6th inning. Myers making that one-hand chest-high running catch in the right center field gap. It was deep enough to score Arends. Darby, knowing that he was too deep and really did not have any momentum behind the baseball to throw an accurate toss home. Decided just to go to second with it. Top of the order, here's Caleb Gindel. The pitch home. In for a strike over the outside corner. Gindel tonight 0 for 3 with a pair of flyouts, and he struck out swinging in the third. Burris has just 2 strikeouts. Bullpen activity down the left field line for the Blue Crabs. 2 outs, the pitch. In the dirt. Smothered by Molina, moving to his left behind the right-handed batter's box. And now it is 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, 3-0 Barnstormers. 3 runs on 4 hits. The pitcher loosening is Navery Moore down that left field line. Outfielders play straight away. Wind blows out to left center field. Here's the pitch. Gindel swings and grounds it back to Burris. He gloves it, bobbles it, sets himself, and throws to first. Barnstormers adding a run on a hit and a sacrifice fly by Charlie Cutler. At the end of 5.5, Lancaster 3 and Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, come out to the ballpark August 17th against the Bridgeport Bluefish. It's Coors Light Can Do Wednesday. $3 Coors Light beers from 5:30 to the middle of the 5th inning. For more information, call 301-638-9788 or log on to somdbluecrabs.com.
ID Shield is the best way to protect your identity. If you become a victim of identity theft, ID Shield spends up to $5 million to do everything that it can to restore your identity. ID Shield is dedicated to your safety. Their identity specialists are focused on protecting you. They provide you with the services that walk you through all the steps to protect yourself. ID Shield monitors all of your personal information from social security numbers, credit cards, and bank accounts. ID Shield monitors everything from your passport, email, phone numbers, driver's license information, and much more. ID Shield is the only company that is partnered with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. ID Shield partner with Kroll protects the identities of more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. For more information, call 571-337-3588 or log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ.
Alfredo Marte will start things here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 Lancaster. Kelvin De La Cruz ready to work, winds and fires. Swing and a fly ball lofted in the air, shallow right center field. Darting in from center is Gindel. It drops down in the gap for a base hit. That's the first hit of the game for the Blue Crabs. De La Cruz tonight with 7 strikeouts. He's allowed just 1 base runner, and that guy was Darby Myers. He was caught stealing in the 4th, so the Blue Crabs don't even have a runner left on tonight. Down 3-0 here is Eric Garcia, who struck out swinging his first time up. Again, 1 of 7 strikeouts tonight for Kelvin De La Cruz, who has done a really nice job. He has thrown 40 strikes and just 14 balls, a pitch count of 14. Check swing on the first offering, a strike called. Home plate umpire Derek Moshe with the call, a high fastball, and it is 0-1. On the out-of-town scoreboard on the Atlantic League side of things, 6-2 Revolution with the lead over the Bees at New Britain Stadium, bottom 7. The pitch. Swung on, popped him up, foul off third. Bell with a long run. Arends, the shortstop, giving it a look as well as it slices out of play into an empty seat. The Ducks and the Patriots, good series there, Liberty Division side of things. Top of the 6th inning, it's TD Bank Ballpark. That game tied at 1. Bottom of the 4th inning, Skeeters Bluefish. Sugarland, a 2-0 lead at Harbor Yard. Around Major League Baseball, Phillies a 6-1 lead over the Giants in the bottom of the 4th inning. Baltimore 1-0 lead over the Rangers, top of the 6th. The pitch home. Slider, popped foul, out of play towards the third base side. White Sox a 1-0 lead, top of the 5th inning over Detroit. Kansas City, bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 lead over Tampa Bay. Minnesota, 8-0 lead over Cleveland, bottom four. Runner breaks for second. The pitch is swung on and missed. Throw to second by Cutler is late and wide to the right field side of the bag. Marte got a good jump. He steals his 6th base of the year. Crabs with the runner in scoring position. Down 3-0 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Continuing with the out-of-town scoreboard, the Subway Series, Game 2 of that one. In New York, the Mets in the top of the 5th with a 2-0 lead over the Yankees. Atlanta, 1-0 lead over Pittsburgh, top of the 5th inning. Cincinnati, a 2-1 lead, bottom of the 5th inning over St. Louis. The Cubs, a 1-0 lead over Miami, that game in the top of the 2nd. Toronto, Houston, scoreless, top 2nd. Dodgers and the Rockies ready to get underway. Brown the batter, the pitch. Gary swings and grounds it to third, right under the glove of Bell. That rolls into left for a base hit. Marte stops at third. Robinson picks it up, fires it in towards third. And we'll see how they score that. I think it should be an error. It should have been an easy play for Bell. He had some time to get in front of it and then make a strong throw across the diamond. He chose the latter and decided to attempt the backhand and went right underneath his glove. Blue Crabs with a threat, first and third, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that will be an error officially on Josh Bell, error number 11 on the season. Second most on this Lancaster team. Now the batter is Antoine Richardson. Switch hitter batting from the right side, 0 for 2. Quick toss over. Brown hops back in safely standing. By the way, that strikeout of Garcia was strikeout number 8 for Kelvin De La Cruz tonight. Hey, how about the Dodgers today demoting Yasiel Puig? I bet you if you talked to me 2 years ago and I'd said that to you, you'd want to hit me. First offering, strike to Richardson over the outer third. You'd say, Jim, you're crazy. Well, maybe not. 2016, here we are, and he is demoted, for now anyway. Dodgers tonight in Colorado. Nationals and the Diamondbacks, 9:40 start in Arizona. 1 out. Here's a toss over again. Brown back in safely standing to the first base bag. 1 out, 3-0 Barnstormers. Oakland and Los Angeles of Anaheim tonight. 10:05 start. Boston, Seattle, 10:10 start. Milwaukee, San Diego, a 10:10 start. Here we've got a 3-0 Barnstormers lead with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. And De La Cruz in his first bit of trouble all night. Brown the leadoff first, Marte the leadoff third. And again, De La Cruz with a check on Brown at first. Gary back in standing. Marte started things with a single. He stole second. Garcia struck out. And Brown reached on the error by Josh Bell. Richardson 0 for 2. Darby Myers on deck. And then Bryant Nelson, who is 1 hit away from history, will hit after Myers. Next offering, a swing and a ball fisted in the air behind first, getting twisted around. Hobson into foul territory. Casey makes a one-hand over-the-shoulder catch. Nicely done. Right behind the first base bag outside the chalk in foul territory. 2 outs for Darby Myers with runners still at first and third. Darby hit by the pitch in the 4th and was caught stealing. And he flew out to center in the first inning. 3-0 Lancaster. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Wind blowing out to right center field. Here's the set position by De La Cruz. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Myers out in front of that changeup on the outer half. Darby had a long hitting streak. 20 games, in fact. It was the longest this season, and the third throughout the league, by the way, and the third longest streak in the league since 2014. Takes the next offering low, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike. A 20-game hitting streak that came to an end in Game 1 of the doubleheader on July 26th. He sits safely coming into the night in 29 of his last 34 games. The pitch. Swing and a miss. A fastball darting low and in. He swung right over. "3-0 Barnstormers, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. Blue Crabs have just 1 hit. Marte is leading foul territory at third. He's the guy responsible for that hit. And the guy over there at first base is Brown. He reached on the error by Bell earlier in the inning. Josh playing deep over there at third base. Hobson holding on. Brown. Quick toss over again. And Gary back in safely, standing to the back inside corner of the bag. 1-2 to Myers with Bryant Nelson waiting to hit next. This game is moving right along here. We started right on time at 7:05. Exactly an hour and a half into this one. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Game 2 of the series tomorrow, 11:05 start. Camp day here at the ballpark. Here's a throw over. Brown back into the first base bag, safely standing. It would be game 1 of a doubleheader and then a makeup game from the first half we played as part of a doubleheader tomorrow. Both games will be 7 innings long. And then game 4 of the series will be on Thursday. The pitch home. Runner goes, a swing and a miss. And Myers down on strikes. 9 strikeouts for Kelvin De La Cruz, one off his season high. Blue Crabs leaving runners at the corners. We move on to the top half of the 7th inning. Lancaster 3 and Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Calling all Nationals fans. Get decked out in your Nats gear for Nationals Night presented by Applebee's with a special appearance by Bob Boone, Vice President of Player Development.
August 20th is going green in Technology Night, and it's a winning inning presented by the Maryland Lottery. Also, check out our awesome fireworks extravaganza, as well as the post-game party on the field after the game.
Pinch turns 9 on August 21st. Come celebrate Pinch's birthday at the Blue Crabs. All kids play for free in Pinch's playground and get to run the bases after the game. Also, be sure to get your favorite Blue Crabs autograph before the game on the concourse.
Top half of the 7th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Lancaster 3, Southern Maryland nothing. Jeff Coburnis will start things up against Navery Moore, the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs. He is replacing Brian Burris, who did not have his best stuff here tonight. He only allowed 1 earned run on 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's kind of what I'm pointing at right there. He only retired the Blue Crabs, or rather the Barnstormers, in order back in the 3rd inning. He threw 89 pitches, 6 innings of work. Now it's Navery Moore, the right-hander, out of the bullpen. 2-0, 2.63 ERA, 43rd game, 41 innings, 12 earned runs, 26 walks, 44 strikeouts. 2, 3, 4 in the order. Coburnis, Hobson, and Bell due up. The pitch home. A little bit low with the changeup. And that is ball 1. Moore, that 2.63 ERA. That is the lowest on this Blue Crabs pitching staff. Another guy like a Darby Myers, who I said before could have easily made the All-Star game. 1-0. Fastball outside. It's 2-0. Coburnis is 0 for 3 in the game with a run scored. He reached on an error back in that 2-run 5th inning. Josh Bell, the blow in that inning. That 2-run double. The sacrifice fly by Cutler in the next inning, the 6th. Here's a swing and a line drive to center. Coming in on it, Richardson, bending at the waist. Makes a one-hand belt high catch in stride. Coburnis 0 for 4. Here is Casey Hobson. Hobson, left-handed batter. Barnstormers 3, and the Blue Crabs nothing. Righty on lefty, here's the pitch. Swing and a pop foul off to the left and out of play. Hobson hit by the pitch in the first. Popped out to the shortstop Garcia in the third. And he grounded out to Snyder, the first baseman, in the fifth. 0 for 2. Blue Crabs being out hit 4-1 tonight. This game is moving at a rapid pace. Here's the pitch home. Over the outside corner, strike 2 called. And it's 0-2 to Casey Hobson. Started the year in the Toronto organization at AA New Hampshire. Was hitting under 200. He was released and picked up by his father, Butch Hobson. The pitch. Tapped foul at the plate. Just waved at that pitch. And he's able to stay alive at 0-2. Hobson, 25 years of age. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in the 6th round of the 2009 draft out of Stockdale High School in California. The pitch home. Swing and a miss. A pitch in the dirt. Molina the block. Comes out in front of the plate. Gets the angle. And sidearms down to first to complete the strikeout. 3 strikeouts tonight for Southern Maryland pitching. 2 outs, nobody on for Josh Bell. He's been on base twice. He walked in the first. And he doubled in 2 runs in the 5th. Yeah, Burris in line for the loss. It would be his first loss since the 14th of June. He suffered that loss, a 1-0 victory for the Bluefish that night here at this ballpark. Here's the pitch. In for a strike, a fastball at the knees. Bell turns around, bats from the left side. Bell responsible for 2 of the 3 runs. Cutler with that sac fly. Not much offense from either team tonight. More coming set, letter high. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, drops low. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, Bryant Nelson will lead things off, the number 3 hitter in the bottom of the 7th, 1 hit away from becoming the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And that skips through the legs of Molina and rolls to the backstop. 1-2 is the count, with Sean Halton waiting to hit next. Here's the set, the kick, and the pitch. Swing and a foul out of play towards the third base side. Bark in the Park Night is back on August 15th, presented by Perfect Pet Resort. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788. Here's the pitch home. Inside, just a tad. Bell backs off the plate. Outfielders play straight away. Avery Moore working off the third base edge, working quickly at that. 3-0 Barnstormers, top 7, the pitch. Check swing on a breaking ball, and he went too far around, according to Derek Moshe, the home plate umpire. Back-to-back Ks for Avery Moore, working a 1-2-3 inning. Stretch time, bottom of the 7th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. It is Lancaster 3 and Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Fans come out to the ballpark on August 26th as it's a Salute the Troops night presented by Chick-fil-A of Charles County and the St. Charles Companies. It is also Redskin Youth Football Night, so come show your Redskins pride.
August 27th is Prater Willie Awareness Night and Jersey Auction Night. Another fireworks extravaganza performance will be put on, so come out, relax, and enjoy some baseball.
August 28th is Backfin Buddies Day, courtesy of Chick-fil-A, Smecco Day, and there's a pregame autograph session as well. Kids get into play for free in Pinch's Playground and run the bases after the game. Bryant Nelson will start things. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. 3-0 Lancaster. It'll be Nelson, Snyder, and Molina against Kelvin De La Cruz. The left-handed pitcher, as the wind has settled down here at the ballpark, blowing about 1 mile per hour out to straightaway center field. Nelson, switch hitter, batting from the right side, 0 for 2. The windup in the pitch. Inside low. 1 hit away from becoming the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader. He has 1,052 in his career. The pitch, a little bit high. And some chalk popping out of the mitt of Cutler as that fastball popped into the mitt of Charlie. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper. Deep short, moving to his right. Orenz, backhand pick. Jump throw to first. In time, the stretch by Hobson. And Nelson robbed of his 1,053rd hit in his Atlantic League career. 0 for 3 tonight. He might get one more chance at it in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see. But, boy, it would be fun just kind of spitballing here if the Blue Crabs had a threat going in the bottom of the 9th, down 3-2 or something like that, and Nelson got the game-tying single and became the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader, or better yet, a walk-off hit. Here's Snyder. 3-0 Lancaster, bottom 7, the pitch. Swing and a miss. A fastball, and Michael was late. Right-handed batter. He is 0 for 2 here in the game. De La Cruz has thrown 51 strikes and 17 balls, a pitch count of 68. Here's the windup and the pitch home. Tapped foul at the plate. Molina is on deck. Southern Maryland 5-5 in their last 10, 3-2 in their last 5 games. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Snyder. He was tied up on a fastball in the inner half. 10 strikeouts for De La Cruz. That matches his personal season high, the second consecutive start where he has 10 strikeouts. Good job by Kelvin here tonight. He retired the first 10 batters that he faced here in the game. At one point, striking out 5 straight. And he no-hit the Blue Crabs through 5 innings. Here's Molina, and Gustavo takes a fastball high and tight for ball 1. Molina, right-handed hitter, 0 for 2 in the game. The windup and the pitch. Change-up, a tad outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Over on the other side, Brian Burris tonight, going 6 innings, a quality start, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. He is in line for the loss. The pitch, high and away, 3-0. And now De La Cruz in danger of walking his first guy here tonight. This game rapidly moving here. 3-0. Barnstormers out in front. Game 1 of a 4-game set. Next offering. Molina swings and lines it into left. That's down for a base hit. Over to get it is Robinson as he cuts it off before it hits the track. 2 hits in the game. Molina, a 2-out single. Here's Zach Wilson, who's 0 for 2 in the game. Wilson, right-handed hitter. There's nobody loosening, by the way, down the right field line in the bullpen for the Barnstormers. Robert Carson is up and throwing down the left field line for the Blue Crabs. De La Cruz from the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Wilson tied up on a pitch on the inner half. It's 0-1. From the belt, the kick and the pitch. Bounced foul towards the third base side. Zach adjusting his white batting gloves. He checks into the game with 25 doubles. That is tied for the most here in the Atlantic League. On that first road trip right out of the All-Star break, he hit .462 with a home run and 5 RBIs from the 15th to the 21st of July. The pitch, a swing and a fly ball, pretty well hit to left center field with playable for Gindel jogging back into his right. Caleb patting the glove, makes a 2-hand catch. 5 steps from the warning track in left center, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, and one man left. We head to the top half of the 8th inning, Lancaster 3, and Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Blue Crabs fans, is your brand, business, or organization looking to increase exposure and gain new and diverse consumers in this Southern Maryland market? Look no further than the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and Regency Furniture Stadium. Our business partners are afforded unparalleled access to our consumer base of fans from attractive and potentially lucrative demographics with disposable income. Call today at 301-374-1133 for more information or to set up a consultation.
Out in the countryside, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good...
This is Justin Berg. Thanks for listening to Blue Crabs Baseball. Now back to the game.
The call of the bullpen for Jeremy Owens, top of the 8th inning. Lancaster up 3-0 here tonight at Regency Furniture Stadium, and the new pitcher is Robert Carson, the left-hander, on relief for Navery Moore, who went a clean 1-2-3 inning, striking out 2 of the 3 hitters that he faced. And dangerous hitters at that, by the way, Casey Hobson and Josh Bell. It'll be Halton, Arens, and McDade due up against the left-handed pitcher Robert Carson. Robert 1-3 on the year, 5.11 ERA, 25th game, 24 2/3 innings pitched. 14 earned runs, 11 walks, 28 strikeouts, opponents hitting .281. Alton's 0 for 3 in the game. Wind blowing out to left center field. Game 1 of this 4-game series. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight as well. Always really good crowds on Tuesdays. Lefty on righty matchup. Carson off the third base edge coming set. Inside target, the pitch on the way. In for a strike. Over the inside corner with a fastball. And it is 0-1. Burris got the start tonight. 6 innings for the Blue Crabs. 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. A quality start, 89 pitches thrown. Next offering. In for a strike at the knees with a fastball. Around 92 miles per hour. De La Cruz on the other side, 10 strikeouts, matching a personal season high for him. He's in line for the win, and he's allowed just 2 hits. Bats silent for Southern Maryland for the most part in this game. The kick and the pitch home. Swung on, popped up foul, straight back over the screen and out of play. Carson made his Blue Crabs debut on June 4th against New Britain. This year pitching in 3 games for Bridgeport. He started the season actually in Mexico first and then was picked up by Bridgeport. Next offering home. Fouled back to the padded backstop. A fastball up in the zone, and Halton was able to get a piece. Still 0-2. Carson, his 10th professional season. Pitched 3 2/3 on that most recent road trip. Struck out the side in an inning of work a few days ago against New Britain. The pitch home. In the dirt. And a good miss pitch at that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3-0 Barnstormers were in the top of the 8th inning. Kelvin De La Cruz, by the way, was no-hitting the Blue Crabs through 5 innings tonight. Carson from the belt. Lifts the leg and fires. Swing and a miss. A high fastball. A combination of Moore and Carson striking out the last 3 hitters going back to last inning. Now here's Kevin Arens, 3-0. Lancaster out in front here in the top of the 8th inning. Lorenz with a double and a run scored in the 6th. Lancaster with 2 runs on the Josh Bell double in the 5th, 1 in the 6th on the Cutler sac fly. The pitch, high and away with a fastball, and that's ball 1. Wind blowing out to straightaway center field. Very comfortable evening. The pitch, tapped foul at the plate as it kicks off of the shin guard of Molina. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was 84 degrees at first pitch. It has dropped to about 80 degrees. Weather is supposed to be nice for the doubleheader tomorrow, which, by the way, begins at 11:05. Next offering. Swing and a miss. A fastball high and tight, and Lorenz was tied up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Game 1 of the doubleheader will count to the second half. Game 2 will count to the first half. There was a game that was rained out in early May that should have counted to the first half. Outside target from Molina. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive ripped into right center over the head of Brown, and that's into right center field for a base hit. Myers fielding it cleanly. 5 hits in the game for the Barnstormers. Lorenz with 2 of those hits, and Mike McDade will come to the plate. McDade has walked twice in the game, and he flew out to center in the 2nd. Switch hitter batting from the right side. 3-0 Barnstormers, top of the 8th inning, with 1 out. The pitch on the way. Up high with a fastball. And it is 1-0. McDade, the DH, coming into the night, hitting .419 in his last 10 games. Currently on a 9-game hitting streak. Tapped foul in the next offering. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. McDade with that black shin guard on his left leg. Climbs back in, open stance, black bat, white batting gloves. Carson from the belt, the pitch home. In tight at the belt, lifting up the elbows of McDade. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count to Mike, who stands at 6'1". 250 pounds. He is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Carson kicks and fires. Check swing. On the appeal, did he go? Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did, according to Donald Mayer, the first base umpire. They almost did not have an appeal. Molina had to convince Derek Mosher, the home plate umpire, to check on that swing, and McDade went too far around. Carson coming set. Lorenz with the lead at first, held on by Snyder. Not running the pitch. Strike 3 called over the inside corner. A fastball. McDade thought it was probably a little bit high. He is rung up by Moshe. Second strikeout for Carson. 6th in total for Southern Maryland pitching tonight. Here's Trayvon Robinson. 3-0 Barnstormers with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Robinson switch hitter batting from the right side. He's 0 for 2. Lorenz the lead at first, not running the pitch. Down and in. That was towards the shins of Robinson. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. You know, the Barnstormers had Lance Zawatsky, a guy who was known for many years as a great player throughout baseball, especially in Lancaster. High and away with a fastball. He's still known as a great player, but he was traded back in early July to the Sugarland Skeeters. And it's a head-scratcher at first, but when you talk to people around Lancaster, there's a reason he was traded, is because the infield right now is stacked for the Barnstormers. Here's a swing and a pop foul off first. Snyder gives it a look as it slices out of play towards the furthest end of the Blue Crabs dugout. But, I mean, you look at the infield and the lineup, just in general, of what they have, the Barnstormers have now with Coburnus and Hobson and Bell and Lorenz. Where do you put Lance Zawatsky? You maybe put him at short, but you can't take Kevin Lorenz out of the lineup. He's doing too well. Put him at second base. Jeff Coburnus? No, it's not going to happen. So they trade him away. Barnstormers did to Sugarland. Here's a swing and a ground ball wide of third. Nelson collects the hop at the belt and sidearms to second with Brown covering for the force. This goes to show you sometimes you are never safe, even in the Atlantic League. And remember, Zawatsky missed some time in the beginning of the year with an injury. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. Heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, Lancaster 3, Southern Maryland nothing. On the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
ID Shield, a division of Legal Shield, continues the mission of providing identity protection to more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. Teamed with Crow, no other company combines the expertise of the most knowledgeable identity protection specialists in the industry. The team of dedicated individuals does whatever it takes for as long as it takes to keep you and your family safe. For more information, log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ or contact Marcellus and Jeanette Boware at 571-337-3588.
Moving on to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Lancaster 3 and Southern Maryland nothing. Glad you're with us tonight on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Alfredo Marte will start things up against Kelvin de la Cruz. The pitch. Marte looks it into the mitt, down and in with a changeup. Alfredo with that first hit of the game for the Blue Crabs back in the 6th. In fact, De La Cruz was no-hitting the Blue Crabs through 5 innings tonight. Strike on the next offering over the outside corner. Southern Maryland with 2 hits. De La Cruz 10 strikeouts. The first pitcher in Barnstormers history to strike out 10 in back-to-back starts. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. By the way, that note from my friend, my pal, and a fine broadcaster, a scholarly gentleman scholar, Dave Collins, Lancaster's broadcaster. I thank him for that. That's a huge note. Here's the pitch. Down and in. And it is 2-2. I asked him how he knew that, and somehow he worked the Dave Collins magic, I call it. He just knew it. Here's the pitch home. Swing and a ball fisted foul out of play right side. Some light drizzle here at the ballpark falling. There's some bullpen activity down the right field line for Lancaster. Epley loosening down the left field line, the bullpen for Southern Maryland. On deck is Garcia. Here's the kick and the pitch home. Swung on, chopped towards third, just foul. Outside the bag, I think. Because, if it lands in foul territory after it passes the bag, if it passes the bag in fair territory and lands in foul territory, it's a fair ball. So that was foul outside the bag, which to me it actually looked fair, to be honest with you. But third base umpire Tim Detweiler thought otherwise. To me, that should be a double. Very close. Again, they don't do replay here in the Atlantic League, so I guess we will never know unless we go back and watch the YouTube feed and we zoom in and see tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. 2-2. De La Cruz kicks and fires. Outside with a changeup. Cutler tried to frame it and was unsuccessful. Yeah, very light mist falling at the ballpark. Nothing threatening as of yet. 3-2 to Alfredo Marte. And Alfredo asked for time and has it granted. 2,463 baseball fans here tonight at the ballpark. The pitch home. Swing and a line drive, yanked foul down the left field side and into the bullpen. Nice catch by Scott Main. He's become a nifty fielder down there in the bullpen. I remember in the beginning of the year he was trying to field some ground balls. He was tripping all over the place. The ball was going all over, and his fielding has steadily improved. Good for him. The pitch home. Swinging a fly ball, well hit left center field. Gindel going back on the run, reaches out, makes a one-hand over-the-shoulder catch. Right on the warning track, about 5 feet from the wall near the alleyway. Center fielder with a pretty nice grab. Good speed by Caleb Gindel. So he tracks that one down. And again, he runs good routes to baseball. So that's the key for a good outfielder. Run those good routes to baseballs, and you'll be very successful. You don't have to be the fastest guy. Usually you are the fastest guy when you're in center, but you don't have to be the fastest guy to play a good outfield. Here's Eric Garcia, who's 0 for 2. Or now, Angel Sanchez will come off the bench for Garcia. 3-0 Barnstormers. Bottom of the 8th inning with 1 out. Here's the pitch home. In for a strike over the outside corner. So Sanchez batting for Garcia, who was 0 for 2. With a pair of strikeouts as Sanchez climbs in. Right-handed hitter against De La Cruz. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a line drive pushed into right. That's down for a base hit. Third hit of the game for the Blue Crabs in what has been a very sluggish game offensively. I should say, the third hit for the Blue Crabs. I got confused because there was a scoring change earlier in the game with Lancaster. An error was changed to a hit. Each team, by the way, has committed an error here tonight. Here is Gary Brown, right-handed batter. Brown's 0 for 2. 3-0 Barnstormers. Bottom of the 8th inning, here comes manager Butch Hobson. And this may do it here for Kelvin De La Cruz. We may have ourselves a pitching change. We'll see. De La Cruz here in the game has thrown 66 strikes, 23 balls, a pitch count of 89. Butch meeting with his entire infield. Hey fans, be sure to like the Blue Crabs on Facebook. Also follow the Blue Crabs on Twitter with the handle @BlueCrabs and on Instagram with the handle @BlueCrabsBaseball. Home plate umpire Derek Moshe will go out there and break up this meeting at the mound. Browns 0 for 2. Blue Crabs with 3 hits here in the game. So Angel Sanchez will probably enter the game and play short in the top of the 9th inning. Epley is loosening down the left field line in the bullpen. Kelvin De La Cruz is finished. He does a nice job, takes off the hat, walks back slowly to the first base side dugout, and we've got a pitching change. 89 pitches thrown by De La Cruz. He's in line for the win. He was no-hitting the Blue Crabs through 5 innings, striking out 10, tying a personal season high for him. New pitcher coming into the game, 3-0 Lancaster, bottom of the 8th, 1 out. With a runner on the Blue Crabs Baseball Network, presented by Legal ID Shield.
ID Shield, a division of Legal Shield, continues the mission of providing identity protection to more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. Teamed with Crow, no other company combines the expertise of the most knowledgeable identity protection specialists in the industry. The team of dedicated individuals does whatever it takes for as long as it takes to keep you and your family safe. For more information, log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ or contact Marcellus and Jeanette Boware at 571-337-3588.
Drelzik is the new pitcher for Lancaster, up 3-0 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Angel Sanchez, the final batter that De La Cruz faced tonight. He singled coming off the bench for Southern Maryland. Kelvin tonight, 7 1/3. The runner at first base, his responsibility. He allowed 3 hits. Walked 1 guy, struck out 10, 89 pitches thrown. Now it's Gary Brown, who's hitless in 2 at-bats tonight. The Crabs coming in with a record of 11-13, 3.5 games out of that first place spot, third place in the Freedom Division. And Drelzik is the new pitcher. New haircut and all, by the way. Here's the pitch. Slider spins low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Andrelzik 4-2, 2.81 ERA. 40th game. 41 and a 2/3 innings pitch. 13 earned runs. 19 walks, 38 strikeouts. 1 out. Here's the pitch. In for a strike over the inside corner. On deck is Antoine Richardson. Yeah, so Andrelzik has a new haircut. That hair grew so long that it was past his shoulders. Now it's just a simple haircut. The neck is clean. There is no hair down by his shoulders. I think he's got a nice buzz cut. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped over the head of the leaping Bell. And that's into left for a base hit near the line. Robinson is over to scoop it up. Sanchez stops at second base. Tying run is coming to the plate. It's Antoine Richardson. 4 hits tonight for Southern Maryland. They're fighting here in this game. They're not out of it just yet. Richardson is 0 for 3 in the game. The Crabs need a run, though, here in this inning, down 3-0. Antoine switch hitter. He'll bat from the left side against Andrelzik. Pete, a former Coastal Carolina product. Andrelzik 6'1", 200 pounds. Bending at the waist, his chest is facing the home plate area. Now he comes set. Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch home. In for a strike. Good fastball over the outside corner. That's one thing with Andrelzik. His fastball ranges from about 90 to 93 miles per hour. It's got a lot of life to it. He has a slider and the occasional changeup as well. Comes with a shoulder high set. Here's the pitch to the plate. Low and away. His last appearance against York, about 3 earned runs, an inning of work back on Sunday. Andrelzik coming set. Here's the pitch home. Down and in with the fastball. All of a sudden, we've got ourselves a good hitters count here with Richardson. It is 3 balls and 1 strike. Unless I'm ahead of myself, I think the scoreboard might be off by a pitch. Checking the runner at second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball, pretty well hit to left. Robinson racing back on it, squaring up to the plate, stutter steps, and makes a one-hand catch. 5 steps from the warning track. Sanchez back to second and back to first. Goes Gary Brown. Here's Darby Myers now. 2 outs, 3-0 Barnstormers. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a good guy to have at the plate right now in Darby Myers, who I mentioned coming into the game has hit safely in 29 of his last 34 games. A .390 batting average over that time span. Here's the pitch. Swinging a broken bat, ground ball to second. Coburnis gobbles it up, sidearms to first, and that'll do it. Blue Crabs leaving 2 runners on, with Darby Myers the tying run at the plate. We head to the 9th. It is Lancaster 3 and Southern Maryland nothing on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
ID Shield is the best way to protect your identity. If you become a victim of identity theft, ID Shield spends up to $5 million to do everything that it can to restore your identity. ID Shield is dedicated to your safety. Their identity specialists are focused on protecting you. They provide you with the services that walk you through all the steps to protect yourself. ID Shield monitors all of your personal information from social security numbers, credit cards, and bank accounts. ID Shield monitors everything from your passport, email, phone numbers, driver's license information, and much more. ID Shield is the only company that is partnered with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. ID Shield partner with Kroll protects the identities of more than 1 million people in 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. For more information, call 571-337-3637. 888-888-3588 or log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowareMJ.
This is Jeremy Owens, manager of the Blue Crabs. Thanks for listening to Blue Crab Baseball. Now back to the game.
Top of the ninth inning, Cody Epley is the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs, on relief for Robert Carson, who struck out 2 batters in the inning of work that he went. Now it's Epley, the right-hander. 2.66 ERA, 2-1, 41st game, 40 2/3 innings pitched, 12 earned runs, 12 walks, 25 strikeouts. And opponents are hitting .253 off of the right-hander. He is the 4th pitcher of the night. Brian Burr's got the start, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, or I should say 4 hits, 3 runs given up in total, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. By the way, to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning, Bryant Nelson will stand in, a chance to break the Atlantic League's all-time hits record. It'll be 3-4-5 in the bottom of the ninth for the Blue Crabs, who are down 3-0 in the game. Charlie Cutler, meanwhile, here in the top half of the inning, will lead things off. It'll be Cutler, Gindel, and Coburnus. Charlie with a single, a run scored in the 5th, and a sac fly in the 6th, RBI number 29 for him. Kelvin De La Cruz tonight, 7 1/3, 0 runs allowed, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. Cutler, the catcher, climbing in left side, manicuring that dirt in the left-handed batter's box as Epley stares down at the pitching rubber, whips the head back up, fiddling with the baseball behind his back. Now fielders play straight away. Barnstormers 5 hits in the game. Here's the pitch home. Down and in with a fastball. Cutler is the catcher tonight, as I mentioned, and the Barnstormers are wearing the gray jerseys and the gray pants. It's so hot out that Cutler is soaked. You know how I can tell that? Because the gray jerseys get darker and darker when they get more and more moist. Here's a swing and a topper foul at the plate. And that's the case with Cutler. I mean, he is drenched in sweat. In fact, it looks like he just jumped in a pool. And for good reason, too. It was very humid, 67% humidity, 84 degrees at first pitch, and it has been comfortable but still pretty hot tonight, around 80 degrees throughout the game. Gindel is on deck. Barnstormers up 3-0, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Blue Crabs with zeros across the board. They've got 5 hits, and they've committed 1 error. Here's the pitch. Strike called over the outside. Cutler taking off the helmet, wiping some sweat out of his eyes. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Epley kicks and fires. Beaten into the ground, foul at the plate. Cody was an all-star this year. He pitched in the 3rd inning of the all-star game, a scoreless 1-2-3 inning. 2nd consecutive season that he's been an all-star. He is a little bit under the weather. I talked to him before the game, asked him if we can get a video interview, and he said, I would love to, but I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm congested and have a cold. Can we push it back a couple of days? No problem at all. Here's the pitch. Low and away. You know, I hate when I get a cold. I've said this before. I'd rather have a stomach virus than a cold because you throw up and you get it all out of your system in 1 or 2 days. With a cold, it could last up to like 2 to 2.5, 3 weeks. So I feel bad for Cody. I said, you know what? Yeah, you get better, and we'll do the interview on Friday or Thursday or something like that. That's perfectly fine. I hope he feels better. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive down the left field line, slicing foul, and up against the sidewall. I mean, you know, he needs to pitch against the cold that he has. I mean, he probably has a sore throat. He's sniffling. I think we can hold off on the interview. We will get Cody Epley, though, Blue Crabs fans. We will get him for an interview probably on Thursday, hopefully. And that interview will be on video and on our Facebook and Twitter and all the social media sites of your dreams on Thursday. 2-2. Gindel on deck, 3-0 Barnstormers. Here's the pitch home. Swung on, grounded to first. Snyder boots the baseball as it ricochets out to second. Brown picks it up, has no play. Should have been an easy play for Snyder, but it hit off the heel of his glove and kicked out towards second. Second error of the night committed on the Blue Crabs. And for Snyder, that is error number 4. Barnstormers looking to pad this lead. Here's Caleb Gindel now, who is 0 for 4 in the game. Caleb left-handed hitting center fielder. That play coming set. Here's the pitch. In for a strike with a fastball over the inside corner. Gindel, 27 years of age, played in 65 games at the major league level. A couple of seasons, parts of a couple of seasons with the Brewers. Next offering home. Swing and a fly ball lifted in the air to straightaway center field. Richardson ranging back on it. Antoine makes the grab 5 steps from the warning track. Cutler back to first. Here's Jeff Cobernis. Again, a reminder, tomorrow's ball game at 11:05 start. We'll be on the air with you at around 10:30 for Blue Crabs on Deck. It'll be a doubleheader. Game 1, 7 innings long. Game 2 will be 7 innings long as well. But remember, Game 1 will count to the second half, so that's the game to keep an eye on. And Game 1 counting to the first half. I can only imagine what the lineups are going to be like in Game 1, which virtually means nothing. It's just a game that has to be played. Cobernis 0 for 4 with a run scored back in the 5th. That play coming set. 3-0 Barnstormers, top 9. The pitch. Low and away with a slider. That play sets letter high. The pitch home. Swung on, jam shot foul, right side out of play. Game 1 tomorrow, the pitching matchup, it'll be Gabby Hernandez. 1-8 on the year up against Brian Evans, the right-hander for Lancaster, who's 1-2, a 6.04 ERA. Both those starting pitchers have struggled to get wins, and they've had some bad luck this year. We'll see whose luck prevails tomorrow at 11:05. Hernandez coming off a couple of bad starts, too. Cutler reaching on that error by Snyder. He's at first, taking his lead. Not running the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to short. Sanchez, the new shortstop, gloving it. Sidearms to second one. Brown's turn on to first is low as it kicks by Snyder and rolls halfway up the first base line. Cobernis safe at first base. It'll be a fielder's choice. Cutler raced off the base paths. And here's Casey Hobson, who was 0 for 3 in the game. He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Hobson, left-handed hitter. 3-0 Barnstormers, top of the 9th, 2 outs. Outfielder shading towards right center field. Here's a quick toss over. And diving back in head first safely is Cobernis. Hobson signing with the Barnstormers on June 3rd. He was actually released by the Blue Jays in late May. Batted just .163 at the AA level for Toronto, AA New Hampshire, the Fisher Cats. Here's the pitch. Inside at the knees, and that's ball 1. Hobson is 0 for his last 10 at the plate after getting off to a really hot start. In fact, he's homered in back-to-back games twice this year. The pitch. Swung on, chopped wide of first, past the diving Snyder. Gloved by the second baseman Brown. Throws to first as it kicks off the glove of Epley and rolls to the dugout fencing. Epley could have caught it, but it tipped off his glove, the very edge of his glove. And into third base goes Cobernis. First and third for the Barnstormers with 2 outs. 3-0 Lancaster. here in the top of the ninth. We'll see how they score that. I think it'll be a hit, if I'm not mistaken. It will be a hit for Lancaster, the 6th one of the night. It was going to be close, I think. But I think Hobson would have been out, actually. That breaks an 0 for 10 streak for Casey Hobson. Now here's Josh Bell, who has been on base twice. He walked in the first, and he doubled in 2 runs in the 5th. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Here's the set position by Epley, the pitch. Outside with a fastball. First and third for the Barnstormers, who have left 6 runners on here tonight, and 5 of them in scoring position. The outfielders play straight away. Lights beam down on the playing field. Nelson playing wide of third, closer towards the shortstop position. Sanchez, the shortstop, shaded towards the middle. Here's a swing and a ball pushed foul off to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Bell with Sean Halton waiting on deck. Brian Burris got the start tonight. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He is in line for the loss. Even with that, a quality start for the Southern Maryland starter here tonight. Epley peering in, gets the sign. Coming set, shoulder high, delivers home. And it's inside, a fastball. You know, I saw home plate umpire Derek Moshe shake his head up and down as if to say, yes, that's a strike, but I guess it was a little bit inside. Molina tried to frame it. It looked good from up here. Two balls, 1 strike. The pitch on the way. Down and in, 3-1. So Epley in some trouble here in this top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. Reminder coming up after the game, it's the post-game wrap-up show. We're back at it tomorrow, 10:30, for Blue Crabs on deck at 11 o'clock. Game 1 of a doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch at 11:05. It is camp day here at the ballpark. Pitch on the way. Swing and a ball fisted foul out of play left side. Good catch by a fan, by the way. 3-2 with 2 outs. The runner at first base is Hobson. He will have a head start. That play coming set. Next offering, runner goes. Inside, and that's ball 4. That didn't miss by much. And now Gustavo Molina will go out to have a word with Cody Epley. 4 walks issued tonight by Southern Maryland pitching, and they're loaded for the Barnstormers, who have a chance to really crack this thing open. Lancaster, a team hitting .287 this year with the bases loaded. 3 grand slams and 88 RBIs. And Sean Halton, who is tied with Michael Snyder for the league lead in home runs with 16, will dig in. Halton is 0 for 4 in the game. Epley stepping off the rubber, steps right back on first base edge. Now the set. Pitch home. In for a strike over the outside edge. Bases loaded. Corbinus at third, Hobson at second, Bell is at first. Blue Crabs committing an error. That started everything here in this inning. That should have been out number 1 right there. Here's the pitch. Wave and a miss at a slider outside. Halton not often getting cheated right there. Out in front on that front foot. Oh, 0-2 is the count as Epley is looking for the strikeout. 3-0 Barnstormers Top of the ninth inning. The pitch on the way. Outside, frisbee slider. And now it's 1-2. Blue Crabs fans, Regency Furniture Stadium offers affordable catered luxury suites, 2-hour all-you-can-eat picnic area packages, and Legends Club events. For more information, contact the group sales department at 301-638-9788 or log on to somdbluecrabs.com. Runners their leads off every bag. 1-2. Swinging a chopper to third. Nelson backs up. It deflects off his glove. Everybody is safe. Coburnus comes home to score, and it is 4-0 Lancaster. See how they score that one. Should be an error on Nelson, I would think. Everybody moving up a bag. 4-0 Barnstormers, and it will be an error on Brian Nelson, who committed an error earlier in the game, and he makes his second here in game 1 of this series. He now has 8 on the year. And that run will not be charged to Epley. At least I don't think. I'll have to double check on that, but you think about it, this inning started with Cutler reaching base on the error by Snyder. That should have been out number 1 right there. And then fly out by Gindel. Fielder's choice by Coburnus, the single by Hobson, walk to Bell, and then that error committed by Nelson. So it really, the Blue Crabs have given an extra out here to the Barnstormers in this top of the ninth and are now down 4-0 for it, so they're paying for their mistakes. The batter is the right-handed hitting Arends, who's got 2 hits, a double, a run scored in the 6th, and a single in the 8th. The pitch, in for a strike with a slider over the outside corner. That play coming set. The pitch on the way. Outside low. Four nothing Barnstormers, top of the ninth inning. That play coming set. Outside target. The pitch on the way. Swung on, popped him up. Left side of the infield, this should be it. Nelson, the third baseman, calling at his position. Comes in a couple of steps and makes a one-hand snow cone type catch. That'll do it. Barnstormers adding a run on a hit. 2 Blue Crabs errors. And they leave them loaded. Bottom of the ninth, last chance coming up for Southern Maryland. Lancaster 4, Southern Maryland nothing. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, great seats are still available. Group tickets start as low as $10 per person. We also offer very affordable luxury suites and picnic area packages. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
If you can't make it to the park, you can listen to every Blue Crabs home game
on the Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
This is Jeremy Owens, manager of the Blue Crabs. Thanks for listening to Blue Crab Baseball. Now back to the game.
Bryant Nelson will lead things off, bottom of the ninth inning. 4-0, Lancaster out in front of Southern Maryland. It'll be Nelson, Snyder, and Molina. 3, 4, 5 due up in the order. Nelson is 0 for 3 here in the game. Switch hitter batting left against the new pitcher, Corey Burns. The pitch home. In for a strike at the knees with a fastball. Corey 0-3 on the year, 2.73 ERA, 36th game, 16 saves, 33 innings, 10 earned runs, 6 walks, 44 strikeouts. Nelson waves and misses at a changeup. It's 0-2. As we've talked about tonight, Nelson 1 hit away from becoming the Atlantic League's all-time hits leader. He's close. He almost had it back in the 7th. The pitch home. Swing and a ground ball towards first, foul outside the bag. And it's still 0-2. Nelson got that one off the end of the bat. Takes some seeds out of his back left pocket, throws them in his mouth. He's ready to go. I mentioned that he almost had a hit in the 7th. It was a ground ball to deep short, but Arends was able to make the play. And Nelson was out. The 2-strike pitch home. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Right there at the knees. Good pitch, a fastball. Nelson's 0 for 4 here tonight. 11 strikeouts for Lancaster pitching. Ryder coming up next. It's the post-game wrap-up show. Tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Yes, get your breakfast, your eggs, your meat, your sausage, your bacon. Sit down and enjoy Blue Crabs on deck. And then 11:05, we've got baseball. Game 1 of a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games tomorrow. Snyder 0 for 3 in the game. 4-0 Barnstormers, bottom 9, the pitch. Snyder swings and misses. He was out in front of a changeup. And it is 0-1. De La Cruz with 10 strikeouts tonight. Matching a season high for him. 7 1/3, just 3 hits allowed. The pitch. Swing and a miss. A changeup. Another one on the outer half. It's 0-2. Andrelzik went an inning, giving up a hit. Now it's Corey Burns, the right-hander. Last appeared against York on Saturday, throwing an inning, striking out 2. The pitch home. Swing and a miss. Another changeup. No, a foul tip. What was that? All right, Snyder, I think it was a swing and a miss. And I think what the catcher Cutler was saying was that he caught it off the ground before it hit the dirt. And that's what he was checking with Derek Moshe, the home plate umpire. It's the strikeout. Either way, and that is back-to-back Ks for Corey Burns. 2 outs, last chance for the Blue Crabs, Molina. He swings and lines one to center. Gindel is right there. Caleb makes a one-hand catch. The ball game is over, and the Blue Crabs fall tonight by the final of 4-0 to the Lancaster Barnstormers. Barnstormers forming the handshake line for the Blue Crabs in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. They're set down 1-2-3 in the 9th inning by Corey Burns. Back to the totals after this on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, come out to the ballpark August 2nd against Lancaster. It's Hearing Professionals, Silver Sluggers, night number 7. Free popcorn Tuesdays, presented by RC Theaters Lexington Exchange for the first 500 fans. On August 3rd, 11:05 special start time, it's Camp and Recreation Day. And on August 4th against the Barnstormers, it's National Night Out Celebration and Foster's Grill, Wings, and Beer Night. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
Hey, Blue Crabs fans, join us at Regency Furniture Stadium on August 5th as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs take on the York Revolution. It'll be Salute the Troop Night presented by Chick-fil-A of Charles County and the St. Charles Companies, as well as Craft Fair Night, Beach Party Night, and a firework extravaganza presented by PNC. The very next night on August 6th, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs continue to take on the York Revolution for Southern Maryland Library Night presented by Southern Maryland Regional Library Association. It'll also be Urgent Care Night and a jersey auction presented by the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center. For more information, log online to www.somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788.
Back with the totals here on the Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Southern Maryland falling tonight by the final of 4-0 in Game 1 of this 4-game series to the Barnstormers. 4 runs, 7 hits, 0 errors committed by Lancaster. For Southern Maryland, no runs, 5 hits, 3 errors committed, 5 runners left on, 2 of them in scoring position. Lancaster, 9 runners left on, and 7 of them in scoring position, including leaving the bases loaded back in the top of the 9th inning. So Kelvin De La Cruz picks up his 5th win of the year. He's 5-2 on the season, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. Pete Andrelzik went an inning out of the bullpen, allowing a hit. Corey Burns went an inning out of the bullpen as well, retiring the Blue Crabs in order in the 9th, striking out Nelson and Snyder, and getting Molina to line out to center field. Over on the other side, Brian Burris suffering the loss. He's now 8-5 on the season. Burris, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. No save in the game. 2,463 baseball fans were here at the ballpark tonight. 2 hours, 38 minutes the time of the game. Navery Moore went an inning out of the bullpen as well. 2 strikeouts. Robert Carson an inning, 2 strikeouts, allowing 2 hits. And Cody Epley allowing a run in that top of the 9th inning where the Barnstormers loaded the bases. Epley went an inning, allowing that run, not earned, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 7 batters faced. So the Blue Crabs falling tonight. Their record is now overall 37-57, 20 games under 500, 11-14 here in second half play. The Barnstormers 44-50, 10-15 here in second half play as well. So coming up next is the post-game wrap-up show. We'll have an in-depth breakdown of tonight's game, a recap as well. We will have the out-of-town scoreboard also, and we'll get you set for tomorrow's doubleheader for the first pitch tomorrow, 11:05 start time. Blue Crabs falling tonight by the final of 4-0. This is the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Since 2013, over 1 billion records have been compromised right here in our great nation. ID Shield's comprehensive identity protection service monitors for all signs of criminal activity and gives you all the resources you need to keep your identity secure from fraud. For just $9.95 per month, ID Shield provides unlimited consultation, complete monitoring, and a $5 million service guarantee. For more information, contact Marcellus and Jeanette Bower at 571-337-3588 or log on to www.legalshieldassociate.com/BowerMJ.
This is Scott Snodgrass, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Hey, Blue Crabs fans, join us at the ballpark on August 7th as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs take on the York Revolution. It's Chick-fil-A Backfin Buddies Day number 7, Babies in Baseball, as well as pregame autograph sessions, kids play in Pinch's Playground for free, and postgame kids run the bases. After about a week off, the Blue Crabs come back to town on August 15th against the Bridgeport Bluefish for Bark in the Park presented by Perfect Pet Resort, as well as Dollar Hot Dog Night. And then on August 16th, it's Hearing Professional Silver Sluggers Day number 8, Shirt Off Your Back Clothing Drive, Thankful Tuesday, as well as free popcorn presented by RST Theaters Lexington Exchange for the first 500 fans. For more information, call 301-638-9788 or visit www.somdbluecrabs.com.
Inside the Blue Crabs post-game wrap-up show. Did you know that last year 57 million Americans had at least one legal issue? Don't be just another statistic. For just $17.95 a month, Legal Shield provides coverage for single adults without dependents, legal advice, letters and phone calls on your behalf, legal document review, and trial defense. For more information, log on to LegalShieldAssociate.com/BowwareMJ or call 571-337-3588. That is 571-337-3588. Blue Crabs falling tonight by the final of 4-0. Lancaster 4 runs on 7 hits. Blue Crabs no runs, 5 hits, 3 errors committed, 5 runners left on, 2 of them in scoring position. Lancaster 9 runners left on, 7 of them in scoring position. 10 strikeouts tonight for the winning pitcher Kelvin De La Cruz, who went 7 1/3, throwing 89 pitches. He's the first pitcher now in Barnstormers history to strike out 10 hitters in back-to-back starts. So De La Cruz, 10 strikeouts. In fact, he was no-hitting the Blue Crabs through 5 innings. And he allowed just 3 hits here tonight. A phenomenal job by Kelvin De La Cruz. Brian Burris suffering the loss, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 89 pitches thrown. Barnstormers got the scoring started in the 5th inning, a 2-run double by Josh Bell, allowing Cutler and Coburnis to score. In the 6th inning, a sacrifice fly by Charlie Cutler, and then in the 9th, the Barnstormers adding 1 more run, Coburnis scoring on the error committed by Bryant Nelson. Blue Crabs had a couple of opportunities, but not really much tonight, and Drelzik and Burns out of the bullpen did a very nice job to shut things down and secure that victory for Kelvin De La Cruz, who is now 5-2 on the year. Brian Burris 8-5. 2,463 baseball fans here tonight. 2 hours and 38 minutes was the time of the game. So a great job tonight by Kelvin De La Cruz. Game 2 of the series tomorrow, and it'll be an 11:05 start, and then game 3 of the series will be game 2 of the doubleheader tomorrow. Both games, by the way, 7 innings long. The first pitch, 11:05 tomorrow, will be on the air with you at 10:30 for the pregame. Blue Crabs on deck. It'll be Brian Evans, the right-hander, 1-2, 6.04 ERA, up against Gabby Hernandez, who's 1-8 with a 5.46 earned run average. So we hope that you can join us then at 10:30 for the first pitch. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will give you a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. This is the Blue Crabs post-game wrap-up show on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. Blue Crabs fans, come out to the ballpark August 17th against the Bridgeport Bluefish. It's Coors Light Can Do Wednesday. $3 Coors Light beers from 5:30 to the middle of the 5th inning. For more information, call 301-638-9788 or log on to somdbluecrabs.com. Back here on Blue Crabs, the Blue Crabs post-game wrap-up show. We thank you for joining us. I am Jim Tarabokia. 4-0 the winner tonight, Lancaster Barnstormers over the Blue Crabs, as we will take a look now at our out-of-town scoreboard segment, and we will start, as we always do, in the Atlantic League. A final from earlier, the York Revolution, defeating the New Britain Bees by the final of 9-2 in that one. The Revolution tonight going to 53-41, 9 runs on 14 hits. New Britain 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors committed. The winning pitcher in that game was James Simmons, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Kyle Simon suffering the loss, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Rice an inning out of the bullpen for the Bees, or excuse me, I should say for the Revolution. Gomez an inning as well. Fry, Patterson, Kuza, and Gilblair all innings out of the bullpen for the Bees, who get hit around pretty badly tonight. Their pitching staff allowing 14 hits. The starter, Kyle Simon, allowing 9 of those hits this evening. Brian Pounds with a double. Jared Mitchell, a home run, his 4th of the year. Michael Rocket, his 2nd home run of the year. Mitchell, Guzman with RBIs. Guzman tonight at 2 RBIs. Andres Perez, 2 RBIs as well. Brian Pounds, his 38th RBI. Keith Castillo, his 21st. And Michael Rocket with 2 RBIs in the game. He now is 30 on the season for the York Revolution, who defeat the New Britain Bees tonight by the final of 9-2. Bottom of the 10th inning at TD Bank Ballpark, the Ducks and the Patriots in extra innings. The Ducks with a 4-2 lead in that one. And the bottom of the 7th inning, the Bluefish a 5-3 lead at Harbor Yard over the Skeeters. Elsewhere around Major League Baseball, 8-8 is the score. San Francisco and Philadelphia, that game in the top of the 8th inning. Top of the 8th inning, Detroit a 10-4 lead over the White Sox. Bottom of the 8th inning, Kansas City a 3-2 lead over the Rays. Bottom 7, 8-6 lead Minnesota over Cleveland. Bottom 7, 5-2 lead Pittsburgh over Atlanta. Cardinals with the lead over the Reds, 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs with a 3-0 lead over Miami in the bottom of the 6th. Toronto 2-0 lead over Houston, that game in the bottom of the 6th inning as well. Dodgers and the Rockies top of the 2nd inning scoreless. Nationals a 1-0 lead over the Diamondbacks top of the 1st. Boston, Seattle ready to get underway. Same thing with Milwaukee and San Diego. And a 10:05 start between Oakland and Los Angeles of Anaheim. Some finals from earlier today. The Orioles defeating the Texas Rangers by the final 5-1. Texas 62-45. Orioles 60-45 on the year. Baltimore 5 runs on 9 hits. Rangers 1 run on just 3 hits. Dylan Bundy, a phenomenal game pitching. He got the start for the Orioles. The right-hander went 7 innings, allowing just 1 hit, walking 1, and striking out 7. His ERA now in the year is 3.05. Brash 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen, and Darren O'Day picking up the save, his 3rd of the year, an inning and a 1/3 out of the bullpen, striking out 2. Yu Darvish suffered the loss. He's now 2-3 on the year. 6 1/3, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He allowed 3 home runs. Pedro Alvarez had 2, his 15th of the year, 15th of the year. In the 5th inning off Darvish, and then the 7th inning off Darvish once again. Adam Jones with his 21st home run of the year in the 6th inning off of Yu Darvish. Alvarez now with 35 RBIs on the year. Adam Jones with 63 RBIs. Matt Wieters and Chris Davis chipping in with RBIs number 40 and 60 respectively for Baltimore. In that ball game, Yu Darvish suffering his 3rd loss of the season. He threw 94 pitches, 64 of them for strikes, while Dylan Bundy 88 pitches and 60 for strikes. Only 3 hits in the game for the Rangers, and it came off the bats of Mazzara, Moreland, and Andrews in that one. So the Orioles defeating the Rangers by the final of 5-1. The Mets with a 7-1 win over the Yankees in Game 2 of that series. Mets 7 runs on 11 hits. Yankees 53 and 53, Mets 55 and 51 on the season. Jacob deGrom 7-5 after picking up the win tonight. 7 innings, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Jonathan East 2 innings out of the bullpen, striking out 2, walking 1, 1 earned run, 2 hits, allowing a home run. That was off the bat of Didi Gregorius in the 12th inning, or I should say his 12th of the year in the 9th inning off Jonathan East. Masahiro Tanaka suffered the loss. He's now 7-4, 6 1/3, 7 earned runs, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed to De Aza in the 3rd inning off of Tanaka, his 3rd of the year, and Travis d'Arnaud with his 3rd home run of the year in the 5th inning off of Tanaka. De Aza with 2 RBIs in the game. Conforto was 32nd RBI of the year. Mark Reynolds had 10 RBI, I should say had an RBI in the game. He now has 10 on the year. Cespedes with RBI number 59. Neil Walker with RBI number 46. D'Arnaud with RBI number 11 on the season for the Mets, who win big over the Yankees tonight by the final of 7-1. Back to wrap things up after this on Blue Crabs post-game wrap-up show on the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network.
Calling all Nationals fans. Get decked out in your Nats gear for Nationals Night presented by Applebee's with a special appearance by Bob Boone, Vice President of Player Development.
August 20th is going green in Technology Night, and it's a winning inning presented by the Maryland Lottery. Also, check out our awesome fireworks extravaganza, as well as the post-game party on the field after the game.
Pinch turns 9 on August 21st. Come celebrate Pinch's birthday at the Blue Crabs. All kids play for free in Pinch's playground and get to run the bases after the game. Also, be sure to get your favorite Blue Crabs autograph before the game on the concourse.
Wrapping things up here on the post-game wrap-up show, I'm Jim Taraboki. Thank you for joining us. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. It's Game 2 of the 4-game set. 10:35 will be on the air with you. 11:05 first pitch. The right-hander Brian Evans, 1-2, 6.04 ERA on the hill for Lancaster. Gabby Hernandez, the right-hander, 1-8, 5.46 ERA. He is on the hill tomorrow for the Blue Crabs. Both pitchers have struggled to get wins this year, so it should be an interesting pitching matchup. 11:05 first pitch, and then Game 2 of the doubleheader tomorrow. Both games 7 innings long. Now remember, Game 1 counts towards the second half. Game 2 counts to the first half. Just keep that in mind as well. 10:30 will be on the air with you for Blue Crabs on Deck. We thank you for joining us tonight. For more information, log on to somdbluecrabs.com, allinbroadcasting.com, and youtube.com for video highlights, interviews, and much, and of course, full game broadcasts, and much, much more. Jim Taraboki saying goodnight from Regency Furniture Stadium. This has been a presentation of the Legal ID Shield Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball Network. A 1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, well hit to left, hooking towards the pole. It's hooking fair. It wraps around the pole. Michael Snyder, a solo home run. Burris kicks and fires. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Pitch. Swung on, chopped to first, glove by Snyder. Sidearm to second one. Sanchez turn on to first. Brenning covering in time. Double play. Here's a swing and a fly ball. Well hit left field. It's on its way, and it is gone. Alfredo Marte tattooing a fastball. A 1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Well hit to left. Hooking towards the pole. It's hooking fair. It wraps around the pole. Michael Snyder, a solo home run. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs Baseball is presented by Legal ID Shield.